Go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them. With the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
But hey, that's just a theory. A theory.
Cinder Shadow 1億 Wars of Paradise 2億 Mix and Gamer 3億人 ライアン・ロジャー生4億 アチュレイエース5億 バラダーク6億 ウィル・オブ・ザ・ファンズ7億 ポリッシュドプロダクションズ8億 スマッシュ JT9 億 ヒップノーティック10億
何?
要はまさに大 YouTuber 時代。
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people and maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yes, we are here. It was all just a fake out, or maybe I'm forgetful. Hello, it's WTF Live. That's right, we're back. I got a little bit. I got just a little bit blindsided by a couple of things that happened during that intro, which we'll get to momentarily. But we're back. Hello, you are watching Will of the Fans. My name is Will. See what I did there, and I hope you're having a lovely freaking day. We are, of course, here again. It's that show where we dissect and discuss all the disgust and the dross and occasional decency, but probably not very much today, from the world of pop culture. And, of course, I'm joined, as always, by my erstwhile colleagues, Mr. Ryan Roger Athay and Mr. Rev Ravenwolf. Would you like to say hello, Ryan?
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and it's great to see you all watching today. It's always a pleasure to be on Will's show, and it's always nice to see my crazy-looking face back in, it was either late 2021 or early 2022, and that was me, folks, at the age of 22 without my glasses. So yeah, it's been a long road, but it's great. It's great to be where I am today, despite the fact that I look like I'm dying. Let's face it.
You've been getting a lot of shit for the way you look lately, haven't you?
Skin suit is melting off. Oh dear.
Be nice to Ryan. He doesn't look that bad. He could look worse. But how you doing? You good?
I'm good.
Having a good week?
Oh, hell yeah.
Everybody? All right. Rev, you're up then.
Hi there. Welcome back to the channel where we dissect everything from Clown World. And we survive because we know how to deal with clowns. Send them to Ryan and he'll deal with them. We'll run off back over here. Hope everyone's doing well. It's good to be back here. And we're going to have a lot of fun today. Alyssa Mercante isn't, but we're going to have fun. So hit the like button, subscribe, and consider joining. You can also pick up a free membership under the 3 little dots. So definitely go check that out. Sit back, relax, and let us take you on a tour of Clown World. You'll be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's been a crazy couple of days. It's Tuesday morning for me. About 12 hours ago, I woke up and I was thinking, well, I guess we'll see what's developed, because I'm always 12 hours ahead of the news. So Mondays for me are pretty damn dead. I don't have much to go over, unless someone's being insane on Twitter, which very often they are, but whatever. So I end up just sort of capping off the previous week's news, and then on Tuesday I get my teeth into something new. And of course this morning I woke up and all hell had broken loose. So that was nice. I knew I'd have a busy day. I haven't actually freaking stopped. It took until about 4 o'clock for me to record my first video. I normally have at least the first one done 3 hours before that. But it's been a bit of a weird old time with Alyssa Mercante and her cease and desist letter, which of course makes up one of our top stories tonight, alongside Dustborn. Is it a plagiarist woke idiocy piece or a European PSY-OP? We will try to discover that for ourselves. But of course, before that, welcome to the chat. See some of you guys out there in the Griff Force. I see the mods as well. We got TJAP Steve, Eris Roda's here as well. I can see you guys. A few extra people seem to have gone green since I hit Let's Go Live, because of TJAP Steve gifting 10 Will of the Fans memberships. Oh my God, you crazy, crazy bastard. No, it's fantastic. It's always great to start a stream like this. It was followed up almost immediately afterwards by one of the subjects of ridicule. Alyssa Mercante sucks for 5 says this episode is sponsored by Sakatu. Is that Saktaku? And wokeness. Like and subscribe, or oh my God, please God like and subscribe, guys, right now. Otherwise, you're going to be getting a phone call somehow from the bitch queen herself. Oh God, no!
She was passable, though, in like 2012. Her old YouTube channel still exists, folks. And yes, I'm actually 25. It's not a bit. Why do people think I'm just making shit up? I don't know.
He's 25.
Well, you need to trim your beard a bit. Your moustache. I think that's all it is. If you had the moustache that didn't cover your lips, you'd probably look 10 years younger. Personally, and I mean, I look ridiculous today because I actually had a shave. So, I look about 20 now, compared to what I normally look like. It's a bit embarrassing, actually, but Mrs. likes it, so it's really all that matters, isn't it? Anyway, TJAP Steve followed up with his member for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. 5 months. That is. I don't even know. I didn't know I'd had members for that long. So that's really impressive. Well done. It says more green for Princess of the Fans. Yes, Princess of the Fans, who is now a regular fixture of our intro, thanks to that little clip with the dancing vegetables. So there you go. But that is enough chit chat. We have a lot to get through because we've got not just the 2 main stories, and one of them is easily going to take half this show to cover because I've actually spent a bit of time today collecting and building a folder on our subject. So
She
I
loves
have.
to drink, man. She really loves to
She
drink.
really loves a drink, doesn't she? Yeah. I also went to Kiwi Farms for one of the second time ever in my life and found their Alyssa Mercante page. And wow, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't need to know, but do now. We may visit.
A bunch of bitter culture war veterans. Those are the fine folks who roam those sites, who've been there and done it for so long that they hate normies with a fucking passion.
I mean, it is kind of like 4chan for beginners. You know what I mean? Which of course is like 8chan or 2, whatever it's called for
Still
beginners.
a great site for information, though. So
it is.
That's Kiwi Farms.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I really like the site. I will use it more. But anyway, before that, we have a bunch of other stuff to get through because there's more going on in pop culture than just psychotic, deranged, narcissistic bitches and possible EU psyops. And so that means we're going to have to get our gear together and enter Rush News. Let's go. Ah! Rapidly updating stories in a hurry, and the first story today is a non-story. I made it a little easy for us to get through Rush News a little faster today because we have a lot to unpack on the main story. So yeah, as I was informed by you earlier, Rev, BBC did the proms with Doctor Who again yesterday.
And they had It's a Twist. They did the It's a Twist song, but they couldn't be bothered to do the Goblin song. I was mortified by that. I was happy.
That's a crime against music that they didn't play the deeply.
There's always a twist at the end.
I can't believe they played. I forgot that existed for a little while there. I'm so angry now. I did not want to think about that goddamn song. Oh well, yeah. So they did the proms, and I don't know if you. It's kind of an old tradition now with the BBC, the last night of the proms and the proms in general. My mum always used to like last night of the proms and wanted me to watch it with her. So and I'm classically trained pianist anyway, so I've heard a lot of this stuff most of my life. I always quite enjoy it. A bit of pomp and circumstance, nothing wrong with that. It used to be a glowing celebration of everything Britain and British, and that was nice, you know, back when we actually had something to be proud about our countries for. But now I just think it's probably a waste of time. Hardly anyone gives a damn anymore. They've successfully demoralized the English, Scottish, Welsh, and Northern Irish to the point where we just don't care. Who cares?
I mean,
so
comparing past proms featuring Doctor Who with this, which just came and went like the wind, it was always a spectacle, especially towards the end of the 2000s and the beginning of the 2010s, when Doctor Who, I dare say, was at its cultural peak in the 21st century. It was an event, certainly within the entertainment establishment. And now you might as well piss in the wind because it'll get more attention. I didn't know this was actually happening. Dobby talking about it was my first reference to this.
Well,
same as that, yeah.
I got a friend in the UK who was like, "Don't worry, Mrs. Flood is going to be at the proms." And I'm like, "What proms?" And they went, and yeah, they had Mrs. Flood there because, you know, they've got to hype up the bullshit that we're going to get in season 2. Hey, Mrs. Flood, how are you? Wow, you're looking really white today.
Jesus, yeah, that's about all you can say about Mrs. Flood, isn't it? She's
the white. She's the white Deadpool variant.
The new face of Daz washing powder. Anyway, if your whites have to be super duper white, you need Mrs. Flood. But yeah, no, it's like you're saying, Doctor Who at the proms used to be kind of a big deal. It was like our very old, very traditionalist kingdom kind of acknowledging the nerds. And that didn't used to happen very often. It wasn't like these days where if you're a nerd, everyone just assumes that you're like a douchebag woke-tard. But now, you know, back then it was still a little bit obscure if to be into geeky stuff. It was dying, certainly, but it wasn't quite the rise and fall of the nerds that we've had since. So it was a red letter day when Doctor Who first appeared at the proms. They were playing a lot of the stuff from series 1 through 3, I believe. It was 2008, the first year that they did it. So we were, well, maybe I think they'd even had the 4th series by that time. I don't know. But it was a big deal. The music was fantastic from that series. Murray Gold was firing on all cylinders. You had Rose's theme. You had the Doctor Forever. I Am the Doctor. You had all these themes that we can actually remember and hum in our heads. Unlike now, because when you actually look at this, and yes, good point. No one knew about this except somehow you, Rev.
Yeah.
You're the only one. I Googled Doctor Who earlier on and hit the news tab just to cut the crap and get to what potentially might be interesting to talk about Doctor Who. And I only did it after talking to you guys because I thought, okay, well, the proms will come up there. It'll be the first place to look for it. No, they're still all talking about the war between the land and the sea. There was no mention of this whatsoever. I had to go to classicalmusic.com.
You had to find out through crawling through the caves of Mordor, Dobby, to find out that Disney Who was at the proms.
Find any coverage of this at all.
They were too embarrassed, I think, to, they had all like the guest appearances of like the Cybermen. They had the fucking furries from Rogue that
what? The birds.
The birds.
The War of the Birds.
The birds, yeah, they came back. And I was like, oh, fuck this. Why? Why do we have to be reminded?
It would have been so funny if the main bad guy of the bird people was ironically called the Penguin.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was probably cringe. I can't imagine. And the worst part is that as I was going through this, I was trying to. I came across this, which apparently is the 15th Doctor's theme.
Please don't.
I'm not going to play it.
Oh.
I'm not going to play it. If you want to, no, it's not the Doctor Who theme. If you want to listen to it for yourself, I suggest you just listen to some Morse code because that's more or less all it is. The beginning is literally just da 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 for like a minute before any semblance of a melody kicks in, and what it is really just this generic thing. I don't know how Murray Gold has become so crap since he was replaced by God, what was his name? Segan Akinola, and then replaced him when they decided.
That sounds like a magic spell. Segan Akinola. Now Will is brown.
No, I'm still very white, at least on camera. Because of that great big light in my face. If I walked outside, I am actually quite brown. But that's because I live in a subtropical climate. So. Anyway, yeah, it's cringe. This whole thing is a nothing burger, so we might as well move on. But it did happen, and
sadly,
and, like it's such a non-event now that. Like, there's not actually any literature about it.
Well, it's a great example, Will, before we move on. This whole situation is a great example of starving the opposition of the oxygen of publicity. Now, thankfully, they've done it to themselves for the most part in regards to this whole situation. But it just goes to show that this is perhaps one of the best concrete examples of, if you don't talk about it, it'll fade away. BBC Proms used to be one of the main events. Now barely anyone is covering it. And imagine if that was applied to other things, the consequences would be insane.
And I'll tell you the stupid thing about it all is, given all the justifiable hate Shooty Gatwa's had, he didn't even, he didn't kind of make a big appearance. And so he's still kind of afraid to be seen as the Doctor in public at the proms unless he's kind of in disguise.
He doesn't want to get booed, Dobby. He doesn't want to get heckled or booed. So he doesn't turn up.
It's a Rwandan thing. He's like, screw
no,
this.
I mean, I think it is genuinely they really do know that there's no way you're unifying an audience in cheers for Shooty Gatwa. You are definitely getting the John Cena reaction. you know, you're getting about 10% screaming and cheering, and then like 90% booing and throwing things. So there you go. That's Doctor Who at the Proms. A fart in a hurricane, a storm in a teacup. Not even a storm, is it? It's like a drizzle in a teacup. Fucking
drizzle.
waste of
It's
time.
like a tiny drop of like a tiny little.
So in the interest of not wasting our audience's time any further, let's move on. The next thing we were going to talk about for Rush News is this Activision Blizzard thing where they're trying to rebrand your DEI. That's right. Just as you've gotten used to that terminology in the last year or so of hearing diversity, equity, and inclusion, which began as inclusivity until someone showed up who actually understood English grammar and pointed out that it's inclusion. You don't need to keep adding suffixes like a bunch of Americans. So you can just basically, it's like when they say aggressiveness, when the word is aggression.
Yeah.
Aggression then becomes aggressive when using as a descriptor. Then you nounify it again by adding ness on the end.
I know.
Why?
It's very annoying.
It was already a noun.
They think
I mean,
they're
from-
cool to it. Okay.
Well, from my perspective, folks, because I talked a little bit about this with T-Virus Terrence on the last episode of Reality Based yesterday. We only had a good hour with him because I double booked myself like a stupid bastard. But in regards to Activision Blizzard, they have been taking L after L after L. The only profitable part of them is King, the makers of Candy Crush. Now that they've been bought out by Microsoft through Xbox. At this point, they should call it Activision Blizzard King, because the only thing keeping that company afloat is King. But this rebrand, this rebrand from DEI, first it was DIE, if we all remember. Then they changed it to DEI, and no one resisted it. Still asking questions about that, and still prominent creators look at me like I have 50 heads. And now they're going to rebrand it as inclusive growth. If they can rebrand it once, they can rebrand it again. So highlight the problem, folks, because they will do it if it catches on.
Yeah.
And the whole
Yeah,
thing
okay. They gone.
The whole thing that's stupid about Activision Blizzard is they're making the same mistakes that all companies are making. I was looking at their, for whatever reason, their job postings, right? And one of the questions is, what race are you? What gender are you? And the current feeling is, if you put white or male, they ain't going to call you. They're just going to trash your thing. The same with Indeed.com. If you put white or male under like your gender preferences, they just don't bother sending your application. It's only
you could stand a chance, Dobby, of getting a job at Activision Blizzard. I mean, crippled, goblin, terminal cancer, Israeli, Jewish. You'd get that role in a heartbeat.
Dude, I'm not Israeli.
You could have fooled me.
Oh, shut up. Ron Jeremy look-alike.
Let's move on from that, shall we? Before we end up getting more Ryan hate in the chat. You think you come off the victor in these little exchanges? I don't think you're watching how much crap you get in the comments, but okay.
What crap?
Anyway, like after the stream. But anyway, so a leaked newsletter from inside Activision Blizzard reveals the company is internally rebranding DEI Group to Inclusive Growth. I don't think that's even much of a rebrand. Do you?
No, it's a fucking loss. Hey, we've got inclusive growth. Meanwhile, normal people, fuck you, Blizzard.
I don't know. An inclusive growth kind of sounds to me like a vaginal tumor, but
I mean, from my perspective, folks, we all know that DEI goes against the nature of the statement. It's not diverse. It's not inclusive. It's not equitable by any means. Whereas inclusive growth is not going to be inclusive, and it's not going to lead to growth. Everything they do, it's just pure projection. And their PR department will go on.
It's the opposite in some ways. Diversity, yes, of course, there is no diversity. It just means replacing white people with brown people. Equity, you could argue that is the goal, but they haven't quite achieved it yet, because equity would mean that we're all basically the same wealth, the same status, the same class, the same social class, the same social group, the same color, which that will take decades. But inclusion, absolutely the opposite. It's exclusion completely. That's the actual practice of inclusion, is excluding people who don't fit the bill. I just wanted to point that out, but you carry on, man, if you want. If you got
It's
something
just
more to add.
looking at this, folks, instead of learning from their mistakes, instead of accepting, yes, we've made mistakes, we're going to move in a different direction. No, they double down, or they bitch, moan, and leave, just like thin-skinned people or organizations. They don't like what you hear. You either have one or two choices. You either call that person out or you fuck off like a whiny little bitch. One of those. But from my perspective, Activision Blizzard, the only profitable part is King. They're going to double down with this nonsense. They're going to hope that their future projects get subsidized by grants and things like that from governments, which is happening, folks. We'll get into that a little later. While the parts of their organization that can't be infected by wokeness, King, Candy Crush, make the money to tie them over long enough. Because without that sale to Microsoft Xbox, I mean, Activision Blizzard, not just financially, but also in terms of their reputation, were going to collapse as a company because of all the sex scandals and that sort of thing. So in essence, their sale was more of a necessity than an actuality. So as part of Microsoft, I think they're going to double down on this, but I don't think it's entirely their decision anymore.
No, it would be the parent company, wouldn't it?
The other really stupid thing is, Activision Blizzard are fully aware of all the games that have failed recently. And the thing is, they still are going with the fucking pride things for Call of Duty. They're still that they have. It's like,
I mean, they've paid for them, haven't they?
Statements saying these games are failing because of this, that, and everything. They jump on the bandwagon. They're agreeing with YouTubers, and yet, they still won't. They still have pride. Everything. It pisses everyone off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
just look. Well, just look what's happened to Activision Blizzard. I mean, both the companies, when they were separate entities that controlled themselves, were both highly profitable and capable companies. Then they merged together. The worst parts of each organization basically conquered each other's good parts. And as a result, they have been taking L after L for, the past decade and a half? And the only part of their organization that has not only done well but thrived is their mobile gaming division through King, which was one of their acquisitions that they left alone, which is what Microsoft should have done with their acquisitions. They buy them and they leave their existing divisions there for them to do their own projects. That's like the lazy way of buying up companies and making money. Okay, we own you now, but just do what you were doing previously, and we'll take a share of the profits and just leave it at that.
Yeah. It's a ridiculous idea though that they're doing this. I mean, the obvious motive to do it is to they'd be trying to hide it, trying to camouflage it further, right? By not calling it DE and I. So they already were trying to avoid getting caught in SEO or something. I don't get it. Like, why do they need to do this at all? Like,
it's like they've gone to a PR campaign and they've said, okay, can you rebrand this for us? And this is what they came up with.
It's apparently to represent the dynamic and strategic work our team is doing to bring inclusion and equity to our people, candidate game development, and creative processes across the business. Man, the 80s would just kick this generation's ass, wouldn't it? Like, you get all these soy boy executive cucks in a bar in the 1980s against the, coked up, hyper testosterone fueled steak eating CEOs of that generation.
What song are they listening to? Living in America by James Brown, who would always be high on something, or drinking, or beating one of his family members. So you have to take the pluses with the minuses from those days, folks. But yeah, talk about diversity. The diversity was natural. inclusivity was based on merit, and equity was replaced by equality in terms of opportunity. And that's
Well, that's
the
what
way to be.
equality means. Yeah, that's why they can't call it equality anymore, because
There isn't equality.
somebody and then a bunch of us pointed out very quickly that that equality is not the same as equity. Equity is what they're actually trying to do. They're trying to drag everybody into the middle. So doesn't matter what talent you've got, doesn't matter what experience you've got, doesn't matter what skill you've developed, you will do this job to the same degree as everyone else. And the worst people will be the benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
If you exceed it, you'll be punished. I've experienced it. I used to get crap for overperforming in jobs. It was awful. It was really annoying. It's communism.
Yeah.
At the end
And
of the
that
day.
encouraged you to be a fine entrepreneur, Will, and that's why you are where you are today, and you're doing, if I dare assume, better than ever before. Fingers crossed.
I'm doing okay. I mean the requirements are a bit lower because I live in a cheaper country, but I'm overall I'd say I'm doing better because I'm closer to what I would call happiness. In life, and so that's a good thing. And one of the best things, of course, about being a YouTuber is if you can take the gamble financially on trying to build something as a hobby and turn it into arguably a job, the best thing is that you are your own boss, of course, and it's doing something you actually care about. That's why I get very irate when people call us a grift. That's why I invented Grift Force as a joke, because I get pretty annoyed about it, to be honest, because I care about what I'm talking about, or I wouldn't bother.
Well, the creator economy, to go on a slight tangent, as the founder of Reality-Based Tangent Kings, to go on a slight tangent, I mean, the content creator economy is going through the roof, and there are plenty of examples of that, especially in pop culture content creation. I mean, YouTube's making a killing from it, obviously. Whereas these companies, almost all of them, are bleeding out financially and rely on one form of subsidy, whether it's from other parts of their company or from government entities, in order to keep on going. So it's good to see this difference, and it is good to see that from that difference, we are all collectively making a solid difference. Doesn't matter if you're a more established creator like Will, or an up-and-comer like me, or someone starting out again like Dobby. We all add up at the end of the day.
Yeah. And the more, go on, Rev.
I get caught, especially after I did that stream last night with that idiot on Steam, right? Where I'm calling him out for his stupidity. People are like, oh my gosh, you're so toxic. I'm like, how is me being a historian calling out your bullshit being toxic? But people just love to kind of use words that they don't really understand to begin with. And Blizzard had fallen into this trap. Every time you say something on their forums, they change words around. They try and they over-edit what players are saying on the sort of us.battle.net or wherever you post things to make it so everything's fine, everything's cool. It is fucking communism.
Yeah, and it's inclusive growth, Dobby, that isn't inclusive, and it doesn't promote growth.
Yes, that's the real irony, is it almost invariably results in loss of growth because nobody actually is interested in the products you end up making when you put DEI or inclusive growth as your focus. And we'll see more of that. No doubt this year we've seen a whole spat of it lately, just one thing after another coming out and burning, between the Acolyte coming out and then the results of that being cancellation after one series, or
Halo
Halo
TV show got cancelled.
Absolutely.
The disasters of Dustborn, Flintlock, Concord, Suicide Squads killed the Justice League, to name but a few.
And then
this whole year has been riddled with them.
Then Disney's decided, as far as the Acolyte's concerned, they've removed all mention. It never existed, apart from the fact that's what the YouTubers have reviewed it. But Disney's like, hey, guess what? The show never existed.
It's weird because they removed all of the products that you
Mm-hmm.
could buy, like T-shirts and stuff, but then they put them back. So they're back on the store now. So you can search for them. I did a video about it. I think it's meant to come out later.
And it's staying on Disney Plus as well. So it's going to be one of those, okay, it was done, but we're never going to talk about it again. Kind of like any Blizzard project.
Yeah. There you go. In the meantime, though, Dramatica Law came in and asked with a 2-month member chat, by the way. Thank you very much for being a member for 2 months. Which franchise would you save and go back to redo? And I wanted to answer this before we move on because this could eat a little time. Because it's a very difficult question. I mean, first of all, am I able to go back in time to do it, or am I like I'm suddenly handed the reins now and I'm given the chance to go and retcon things? Because the obvious two for me would be Doctor Who and Star Wars. As angry as I am about all the others, I don't think the damage done to them is quite as extensive as Doctor Who and Star Wars. For myself, I would probably pick Doctor Who because I know I could go back and write a retcon that would work. But I think if I could only pick one, I would probably pick Star Wars. And the reason for that is more people would stand to benefit. The fan much, much larger. You just look at like how people responded to the Acolyte getting cancelled, and then it's like you have no idea what it feels like, you bastards. Look what they took from us. So of course, you know, something like going back and just the other thing is it would be much easier to do it with Star Wars because it's already been established that as the owner of the franchise, you can just announce that an enormous chunk of the lore is no longer canon and people will just have to get on with it. So that precedent has been established. So I'm the CEO of Star Wars Inc. Because I'm getting it away from Disney, of course. And then I would immediately retcon and decanonize absolutely everything that Disney made 100% to a man, even The Force Awakens, right back to the start. Fuck it. Gone. Dust. Then I'd leave it for 5 to 10 years, probably. Maybe just 5 years. And during that time, we would come up with something really good to continue the story. Of course, the problem would be the dead cast members, particularly Carrie Fisher. So we would have to come up with a way of doing that would work. And presumably the goal would be to continue the story the way that it ended at Return of the Jedi. Or perhaps just to not do that at all and go off and do things on other planets with other characters. I still maintain that a show like The Mandalorian could have worked if it was a procedural villain of the week kind of thing, or Obi-Wan in that interim period between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, if they had done it as, again, a procedural villain of the week kind of show, where the overarching theme is, of course, that he's watching over Luke and he's trying to hide the fact that he's a Jedi, but also this lawless planet needs some help from time to time, and thus build the legend of Ben Kenobi. You know, that would be good. But that's the kind of thing I think I would probably do. What about you guys? Rev?
What?
Got no ideas. If you don't, we can move on. It's fine.
I would definitely go back and retcon Doctor Who. What I would come up with is a way to bring Peter Capaldi back and design the episode, take it all the way back to when he was in the confession dial, have like a big season special kind of movie length opener where we go into Peter Capaldi's looking through time and he sees all of the upcoming doctors that can replace him. He sees the flux. He finds a way to get out of the confession dial. Then we replay that scene with him and, what's his name? Rassilon. He eventually traps Rassilon in a confession dial, rebuilds Gallifrey, and remains as the Doctor for the next couple of however long he wants to stay in the project. But I would try and do it in a way that you would also bring the Pantheon back, the real Pantheon. So you could introduce the real Henry Harbinger, the real Maestro. You could have the Trickster coming in. And the reason for justifying that is you had that line from the toy maker, I made a jigsaw out of your life. So what you could do is design a kind of special where we go into that jigsaw. Just what did the toy maker do? How big is the damage? And then you could effectively retcon all of Doctor Who, going all the way back to the Confession Dial episode, then restarting it from there.
Right. Yeah, that works. That's a bit similar from what I've said in the past about going back to Heaven Sent and having the whole thing be a nightmare or another layer of Confession Dial. Ryan, you got one?
Oh, yes, I do have one, but it's going to be completely out of left field because, as we all know, whoever controls the youth controls the future. And I think what we need is solid children's entertainment. And one franchise that I would love to modernize, not for modern audiences, folks, but for viewers, is Pingu, because I love that show growing up. There's nothing really wrong with the show, folks. It's one of the few shows that you can't really wokeify. How do you wokeify a clay penguin and his seal buddy? But
he doesn't really say anything either. It's just blah, blah, blah all the time. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that more shows like Pingu, especially with the clay modeling, like the older style instead of the more animated style, we need more shows like that appeal to younger people, that are fun, that are entertaining. We need more projects out there that can't be infected. How can you turn that into a tranny demon, hey? How are you going to turn that into some sort of message? Huh?
Nah, demons, like demons.
You got
I
Pingu.
think that's
you got
the demonetization there.
You've got Pingu. You got his mum, his dad, his seal buddy, some of his penguin friends, the penguin girl that he's really attracted to. I mean, stories like Pingu really show younger folks especially that you can live in a world without wokeness, and that structure of entertainment can be applied to almost everything. The building blocks are there, and I think we need more projects like Pingu, because how can you wokeify it? You're going to have him wear like a rainbow wig?
Apparently he's a furry, apparently. That's according to Mudcrab.
Sure, made out of clay.
I mean, I'd argue it's a feathery rather than a furry, but yeah. That's about all I can say. No, Pingu was great. I actually somehow ended up watching it the other week. I think it was because it came on when we were looking for something for Princess of the Fans to watch to keep her entertained while we ate our dinner or something. So, and it was still really good. Pingu's just solid, yeah. Stuff like that. I mean, I don't know that it needs fixing, but what would you just make a shitload more Pingu or something?
More in that style as well, with other characters, maybe like spin-offs, because Disney likes to turn every character into a bloody spin-off these days. How about Seal Buddy gets a show with his seal friends?
It's interesting like that you picked a character who's black on top and white on the bottom. That's interesting for you. Interesting.
But Seal would
that is the
if
color
we were gonna
of
bring
reality
back children's entertainment. And
yeah.
Hello, Sonia. How are you doing?
Hey, Sonia.
If we were going to go with children's entertainment, I would probably pick up Rugrats and push that to the moon as based entertainment. I don't know what it's like these days, if it's still on the air or anything, but I freaking loved that when I was a kid. When I was like 6, 7, 8, I just watched that all the time. Good fun.
But the thing is, if you did a Seal episode, you'd have to have him having a kiss from a rose. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. That was that song.
You bastard. Baby. All right. That's enough of that. Moving on to our next bit of Rush News, because we do have to get on as fast as we can. This is one that I was just throwing out there as well. It looks like Lucasfilm is scrapping Taika Waititi's Star Wars film, and Leslie Headland is completely
yes.
Yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the results we're looking for.
I'll crush your missiles in a second.
Yeah, it's this is just a quick one we can do. It'll only take a couple of minutes. Apparently, it was from Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News, who reports conversations I have had with insiders at the recent Comic-Con have informed me that Taika Waititi is definitely not doing his Star Wars movie at Lucasfilm. Yes. Kind of quietly got rid of that one. And he adds, I was also actually told by this insider that Leslie Headland is done at Lucasfilm. So there you go. No hope whatsoever for all the Acolyte stands. I guess there's only one thing I can recommend they do.
You are coping
bleeding. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yet you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
There you go. So that really is all we needed to say about that one. It's not worth a timestamp, probably, but
I already wrote it down. So
okay, well, you can if you want. But then there's one last thing, and that is, I didn't even realize we were this close. But according to the official Rings of Power X account, I know, it's awful.
No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yes, it's that bad. And, well, according to them, your next few weeks belong to Sauron. Don't you know? I decided to argue with them, and I told them Sauron's next few weeks belong to us. One meme to ruin it all.
And I will counter that by saying, all your base art belong to us. Someone set us up the... sorry.
That's all you need. That's all you need. So it looks like in a couple of days from now, we've got 3 episodes dropping at the start. Now, that is never a good sign, guys.
Please,
that is always a sign that they have no faith in this whatsoever. Front loading it, always a bad sign. Because it means bugger all happens in any of these episodes.
I think it's part of an effort to try and overwhelm content creators to make sure that they can't really cover 3 episodes at the same time.
Watch me.
Yeah, good luck, bitch. I can sacrifice a Saturday night.
The thing that I pointed out with this is you can't, the whole premise of the new season is because they're going to kind of cuckify Sauron, because now you've got to feel sorry for him after he wipes out entire groups of people.
It's the same old shit. It's the same old woke tactic of making the bad guys sympathetic. Well, let's see how that goes, because it didn't go very well for the Acolyte, did it? So there you go. Obviously, the responses to this are pretty hilarious. Mando Lango, or Mando Unchained, said, "You know we're all making fun of you, right? The Master of Disguise. I am not Sauron."
Yeah, whatever happened to Sauron, Gupta?
Yeah. Interesting. Hello, you're true to Sauron. What is wrong with your Ring of Power? LOTR isn't playing any games. The promo and trailers have been top tier.
Bullshit.
I could make many. Yeah, I could make many jokes about this profile, but I will not.
Coping and seething. There it is. Someone else.
Well, I mean, the whole idea of turning Sauron good and making him apologize for all the shit that he's done so you feel sorry for him, it's worse than watching a bloody CW where everybody's standing around the water cooler. In this shit, you would think Amazon would have learned their lesson, but no.
Yeah, there's a few people here who are genuinely and unironically saying that they are looking forward to watching this.
People. You know, Will, I recently discovered a Twitter profile that did turn out to be a bot, but it was so convincing a character that many people were fooled that it was an actual human being. It had a name, it had a face, it had an interesting background, it had a date of birth, a place of residence, that sort of thing. So you never know. When I say people, for all we know, all the positivity for Rings of Power is artificially generated, because bots on Twix are still a big problem.
Yeah.
Master of the TDS has covered it a lot, especially in regards to Disney trying to run propaganda cover for them on this platform especially. So it has been known to happen. So you never know, Will. You never know. I'm just looking at all these people and I'm just thinking how much I cannot wait to shit on them. Just from a great height.
You know what?
I
we should
just can't
do?
wait.
You know what
Go
we
on.
could do, right? Is to do like a watch along thing and really piss off Amazon, have it kind of playing just to make the point that the show is so shit that they're not going to strike us for copyright. Because what's the point? Nobody's going to watch this.
Shit of the fans.
I don't know. I have I've considered a few ways to review it. I don't think I'm going to put like all of the work I put into Doctor Who for it. I'll more likely just live stream my reactions if I do that or
Episode
something.
1 in the shit. Episode 2, the shit got flushed. Episode 3, why the fuck are we doing this?
I just don't see how all this even got made.
Exploring Amazon's.
I do have one thing that could be helpful when you're watching the show. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Exploring Amazon's Rings of Piss, episode 1.
Lord of the Rings, the rings.
All right, so for all those people about to watch this shit,
Imodium, of course. Just what you need when you are going to watch the Lord of the Rings, the rings of power.
God damn, Dobby. What a time for product placement ads, Dobby. I mean, come on.
it's an
man.
Amazon show. What do you expect me to do?
Dobby, sponsored by Imodium. All right,
I don't
there you
know
go.
what is Imodium. I don't know.
It's
what that is.
anti-diarrhea medicine.
Oh.
It stops you having diarrhea.
I couldn't resist it. I really couldn't.
It's the exact opposite of a laxative. There you go. There's just a whole bunch of simping and
These
cucking
bots-
going on here. It's really
Wait, go back
pathetic.
up there a second. What the heck? All those people. No, go down to where those people were. They all like fucking bots.
I was miles
Yes,
away.
I just made that
there's loads of
point.
bots. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
look,
bots.
Yeah, they're. What the fuck? Is it?
Look, if
Yeah,
they are
they're bots. Yeah.
if they are all real people, I apologize to all you real people, but you shouldn't be real people. Okay.
Yeah. Correct.
Bots' lives matter. Make bots great again.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, we're gonna have to deal with this again, like we had to deal with it a couple of years ago. But hey, it was a good old time for my channel. I enjoyed the memes. I enjoyed roasting it on SNH. I'll be surprised if it comes up on SNH. I think SNH has wildly outgrown the need for Rings of Power. So I think we're all on our own this time, folks. But we can always talk about it on this show or something when it comes out. But basically, yeah, this is a nothing burger. I don't think it's going to have anywhere near the views that the first series got. I think it's going to be the next Acolyte, frankly, and that will be the end of the show. I mean, we'll find out, of course. I'm gonna review it.
It's so strange though, because Dragon Slayer, he's always so excited to cover. Yeah, I want to talk about Rings of Power. I want to talk about Rings of Power, but I don't have enough time to cover it on my own show, Ryan. So you can cover it on Tangent Kings. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to cover it on your show. Never mind on my version of your show. But
so wait, what is going on with Tangent King now?
Because of Dragon Slayer's schedule, he finds it difficult to make it to his own show on Saturdays because he's mostly committed to Saturday Night Hypnosis. So I tried out reality-based Tangent Kings with Dobby. It did very well. And, I didn't know Rings of Power was this close, and Dragon Slayer's schedule is still wacko. So we could face the nightmare scenario of reviewing a show on someone else's behalf.
On the good side, Amazon has a backup plan.
Is it Stool Hardener Rev?
And the backup plan is this. Linda Carter is trying to push a crossover with Wonder Woman, starring herself, and The Boys on Amazon.
What?
Oh my god.
Because it's the election year and they're trying to, beef up the Democratic
Linda
Party.
Carter, is that Jimmy Carter's wife?
Oh, it's the original actress from Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, dude.
Isn't she like
She's
100 or something?
73 years old.
No, she's like in her 70s or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
She's the one with the massive Norks, Anyway, there you go. Massive Norks is a good way, as good a way as any to end Rush News. So there you go.
Bman,
Yes.
it's because
And
he's too young. Ryan is too young to know who Wonder Woman.
The only Wonder Woman I know is a hot,
mean-
smoking Jewish chick, okay?
you poor boy. There are lots of other hot women from ages gone by that you could still enjoy. Immortalized forever on the screen. But whatever, that's really neither here nor there. We need to talk about, well, a couple of things really. The first of these really is the fact that Dustborn exists. And, you know, I would not have believed, if you had gone to my head, I would not have believed that this game was going to become any bigger than it was when we first spoke about it. Barely 2 weeks ago, I think. We brought it up. I said it was the wokest game ever. I dared the chat to dare me to play it. I'm still wondering if Smash JT wants to team up and stream it together with me. We may do that. A lot of other people are benefiting massively from streaming it. I think, I can't think of a bloody name.
You've got
Girl gamer
VaraDark, you've got Savvy, who's a lovely blonde
Savvy.
lady. You also got Dash Attack, who's an up-and-coming content creator, managed to get 1,500 live views, which is insane for a channel of only 1,000 subscribers. To watch his marathon playthrough of Dustborn. So a lot of content creators are benefiting from the project. But if enough content creators play it, folks, a few thousand, my God, Dustborn's a successful project. Let's get a sequel. Backed by the European Union and the Norwegian government.
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing that has happened since this game has come out is people discovered, before they discovered that it actually took like 150,000 pounds worth of whatever currency from the EU to help them make it. And that was really sus because it's basically having a go at America. The entire game. It's cringe beyond belief. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything so cringe as Dustborn. Like, it's really astonishing. We've got a few memes that have come out about it as well, actually, to do with abilities that you will unlock in the process of it.
The ability
including,
to
for example, this one where you can hold triangle to trigger. And someone is recommending that we should all be using that as one of those kind of memes. So yes, press triangle to trigger. If you, instead of pressing X to doubt or F to pay respect, press triangle to trigger. We also have this one from Grums, where he points out that Dustborn actually lets you unlock an ability called cancel. Cancel.
Are we being trolled here by like the gaming industry? This can't be real.
No, we're being trolled by governments, Dobby.
This is an attempt to troll the population. Yeah.
Good news. You've unlocked cancel. Rank 1. To practice cancel, target individual. Press the button. Jesus.
The next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that the description of cancel is probably the world's most accurate description of cancel culture. A lot of people have always said, as Grums points out here, cancel culture is not boycotting and criticizing. That is not what cancel culture is. Cancel culture is designed to isolate you, cut you off from your friends, employment, and allies by attacking so hard that nobody wants to take friendly fire and be next. To effectively give you the life equivalent of a one-piece bust call or a orbital strike, if we're going through like Helldivers terminology. So you become so radioactive that no one will let you work for them. No one will talk to you. You lose friends, you lose family, you lose employability, you lose everything.
How haven't I got this yet?
I don't know, Ryan. I really don't know. Would you like me to try and speed up the process or something?
No, I tell you how, because of the power of one, the power of two, the power of Wakanda forever,
the power of men.
There we go. That too.
So anyway, yeah, it says here when you unlock it, it says we've learned how to cancel someone. Cancel will allow us to isolate people from their friends and compatriots. In battle, this could be a useful tool against enemies. I would like to see that play out. I am more and more tempted every freaking day to play this pile of cringe.
You can replace slight elements of these words. I mean, you can replace trigger with the word Atreus likes to use. You can replace cancel with the word I like to use on Dobby. You can replace so many words with other words. They try to trigger us. Well, what better way to trigger a black female lesbian than to use our trigger variation word and use our version of cancel, which I can say it's called cancer, because that's what these fuckers are.
Yes. Someone is asking, Ron is wrong is asking how old you are, Ryan. For some reason, that hasn't been spoiled by any of the chat. So enjoy playing your game.
Yeah, good to know that Wrong is Wrong is matching his namesake. I'm 25 years old, so keep up that name. Good to see Bman in the chat. Can't put a space between B and man. That goes to show how literate he is. And it's great to see everyone in the chat, especially attractive women like Sonia.
Yes, hello, Sonia. Thank you for adding a little female representation to our audience. There's also some other abilities like this that have been revealed. We have someone called Skooma or Asa Coco Enjoyer. I don't know what that is.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what that is.
Hey, what's your name? Asa Coco. Hello, ass.
Oh, you two. You said the word, which makes it even funnier because I'm not going to say it.
Oh, it's a drug, right? Okay. That's fine. I'm too busy being a father to know every meme in the world these days. So there you go. I just play that card there because it always wins. Anyway, you can also unlock the ability here, and this person said, I can't believe this game is real and not a parody from 4chan. You get abilities like Bully. We've learned to bully people. Bully gives us the power to force people to do something they may not want to do, or to make them feel bad about themselves. In fights, this could be highly effective on targeted enemies.
That's why I carry a taser when I go out.
I mean, I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous.
What's our variant of this ability? Sterilize. With this ability, you can sterilize your opposition and make sure they can't breed.
They can do that themselves.
Oh, God.
Anyway, yeah, so this is obviously, it's so funny to see it just said in a game that we know is woke as fuck, and like they're literally they're using the kind of terminology, the kind of language that really does reveal like this is actually a thing. This is how they do it. Like this could be highly effective on targeted enemies, but when they say it, it doesn't make me think of a targeting reticule. It makes me think of targeted harassment.
You
know what I mean?
Read it as targeted enemies. I was going to be like.
I need to know what the other abilities you get in this game are. So you can learn cancel, bully, and normalize. We've learned how to normalize negative emotions.
Hey, Mom,
normalize
hey,
gives us the ability to make people think certain behaviors or feelings are normal.
Can you imagine like little kids going to their parents and going, hey mom, hey dad, in this game I learned how to normalize. Yay!
Yeah, now when someone comes up to me and tells me they're the opposite sex, I can just use normalize to convince them that there's nothing mentally ill about them whatsoever. Would you like this hacksaw to help you cut off your balls? Jesus H. Christ. This isn't funny. This is just ridiculous at this point.
You don't want to know what the H stands for, folks. Please continue, Will.
Oh, dear. But yes, so there you go. They say it probably won't do anything good for them in a fight. But
your normalized grazes the final boss. Your bully grazes the final boss. The final boss pokes you, erases you, and you die.
it's just embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, how are you supposed to go on with this game that is either I really don't understand anymore. This game is either incredibly next level self-aware or so completely in the dark as to be one of the most ignorant things that's ever existed, like a black hole of self-awareness.
We're the Dustborn.
Yeah, we're the new porn. Yeah, I heard the song.
We love unicorns. We're the Dustborn. Here's a brownborn. We're the Dustborn. Support the tranny lore. We're the Dustborn.
So there you go. It also turned out that they've been stealing assets, although it does seem that they might have just used the same asset pack that Rockstar used for Grand Theft Auto Online. But either way, they are not original. And when asked about it, they were not so very nice, you know. Anyway, there's the main character of Dustborn acting out literally the exact kind of iconography you can expect from Black Lives Matter.
Georgina Floyd.
Yeah. And there she is using a baseball bat on a fellow black dude. You know, which represents to me how the Black Lives Matter rioters were looting other businesses that were also owned by people of color. So yeah, they've got that imagery right. It's very good. But then apparently at some point in the game, by the way, only 19 people were playing it at the time when they were making this article, and I'm pretty sure all of them are YouTubers. Imagine being one of like only 4 or 5 people playing this game in earnest.
It was on for a short amount of time, Will. Literally no one on Steam was playing Concord. I think it was only for about 30 minutes, but it literally went down to 0. No one was playing Concord.
That's
which
fine.
I think is even more embarrassing.
We'll turn this into a segment about oh wow. Oh my. Jesus
what makes
Christ.
it worse is that Steam is willing to let this game stay. Usually they're poor games that don't meet metrics, but they're letting this shit stay for some reason.
Well, it's as low as it's ever been right now. And the other day when we were talking about it, there were nearly 290 people playing it, and now 100.
I'm sure Cassie shared something to us in the bigot thing, because we have a bigot thing, folks, together. All of us bigots, we work together.
We have a bigot verse chat.
Yeah, that went down to 0. Where is it? I can bring it up.
See if you can find it. That'd be interesting to see. Yeah. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, we can watch a clip of Star Wars Outlaws showing that it has excellent gameplay. Here you go.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Did you see that?
Yes.
She literally... So first of all, she's dressed like Han Solo. Then she runs up behind this, I guess it's a man, and whacks him in the back of the head, and somehow transfers over to the entire opposite side of the area with the person who isn't unconscious and starts attacking. There's also this clip here where we can see an NPC on the floor with no arms and no head.
Is that from Beetlejuice? You know, with the tiny head guy.
Might as well be. Then, oh wow, there's that again as well. And then there was another one I wanted to find, but I don't know. Oh yeah, here you go. Look, there's another one.
Stormtrooper aim in real time.
Yeah, but at least in the movie, usually the stormtroopers sort of ignored the person they're supposed to be shooting at.
She's using the Force.
He is invisible to them.
Looking for.
What a game. What an unbelievable game. What's this then?
Is, people, I was like,
yeah.
I managed to bring it up, folks, for a short amount of time. I think it was just for about an hour. No one was playing Concord, and then it went up later on. They might have reconfigured it to cover it up.
Maybe there was a glitch.
You never
maybe
know
there was
in this
something wrong with the server.
In this day and age. But I'm just going to get rid of that after showing it to you all. That was what was sent to us by a lovely cult classic Cage. Lovely lady, very talented. Recently got purged from Twix for criticizing Sony ponies or Xbots or console gremlins, one of those.
Don't know. Doesn't, it's not going to affect her. She'll be fine. So yeah, this is the apartment in question. I don't know if I can get the image. It's a picture. But you can see here that this is the apartment that you go into in Dustborn at some point, I guess. And if you look, it's exactly the same layout, like exactly the same layout of everything in the same position as in Grand Theft Auto Online.
It's pathetic.
Literally, I think, in fact, it might be Franklin's apartment. Actually,
it is.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played the story, but yeah, he gets an apartment given to him as well, doesn't he? But there you go. No bollocks. It's exactly the same. They've taken the layout and they've just thrown a filter on it. That's it.
Why not just call it Star Wars Outlaw GTA?
I mean, the funny thing is that when Hey Slick That's Me pointed it out, someone called Shitspout has...
You could have used just their profile name, Will.
Why? I mean, that's just as bad. It's Theobald.
This needs this for this user. There you go, Shitspout. There you go.
First name, their chosen username is Theobald, which sounds like puking. I'm sure it's Berg.
T-Berg.
Yeah. Right, and then their handle is literally Shitspout. So, I mean, why would I pick? If I was going to pick one of those two names, of course I'm going to pick Shitspout. Come on, of course I am. That would be absolutely imbecilic of me not.
Modern day journalism, ladies and gentlemen.
So someone is, as of course, Hey Slick that's me, is pointing out that Dustborn has either ripped off GTA 5, GTA Online, or has paid for the assets and
they ripped
exactly the same way.
Because Rockstar are too busy right now trying to get GTA 6 one day to release. But they've never let anybody just buy material from them because different company altogether. So yeah, they just ripped this off thinking, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Both companies are woke as fuck. So nobody's going to complain. And the players will never notice the difference apart from the fact that nearly everyone...
There you go. So Red Thread has totally stolen it. The thing is, I think it was on Side Scrollers I saw. Smash JT was on there. He was talking with them, and I think Craig said that he had seen a clip of something or somewhere where it turned out that there was like an asset pack that you could buy for something like $80, and they might have just both used the same one. But the thing is,
that's what Shitspout used was an asset
right.
pack.
But Shitspout says that, fuck's sake. Shitspout says, in response to this, no denial, no trying to protect the people at all, says, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen, dude. Why do you care?
That's not even fucking English. This is.
I mean, at least address it. Who is Shitspout again? They either work for the game or they're a journalist who's running interference. I can't remember.
Oh, for God's sake.
What?
The Shitspout worked on Dustborn. You couldn't make this fucking stuff up.
It's madness, isn't it? So yeah, basically they respond by saying that this, people noticing this plagiarism is actually the funniest shit it's not funny actually. It's
pathetic.
not funny at
Stop
all.
noticing, everyone. Stop noticing your pop culture is being destroyed. Stop noticing that your nations are being corrupted. Stop noticing. It's very bad, you naughty, naughty boy.
Can you imagine Thea Berg telling her parents what they do for work? Hey, what's your X handle? Yeah,
Shit spout. It's not even censored. It's kind of amazing. Not even like an exclamation mark instead of the I.
Okay, I'm gonna fix what
Who
she
wrote
says.
who
This
wrote
is-
the song for Dustborn? Shit spout.
It's pretty terrible, isn't it?
After we make-
But of course, then you need to actually look at what they've said. What she has, I think, said.
You're
The
muted.
response you always, huh?
You were muted.
Am I?
No, Dobby. His microphone malfunctioned.
All right.
Dodgy cable. Now he sounds too loud.
Yeah. Hold on.
Whilst he's fixing that, I'm just going to correct the grammar here. This is the funniest shit, comma, I've ever seen. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but we all do that though on social media because they have like text limits. No, Will, can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now I can, but the first statement you made, no.
Damn, man, that was a mess up. Sorry about that, folks.
Tonight, our special guest will be Shit Spout.
Oh my god. But the thing is that they always use the same deflection attempt first. Every time something like this happens and there's some crappy woke piece of bullshit media and someone starts criticizing it, they say, "Why do you care?" That's the first thing you always hear. Why do you care? Oh, no, we're not. Or why do you care? Then, of course, we move on to the later stages like, oh, well, it's revolutionary. No, it's not. And then, then, of course, well, yes, we did do that, but that's actually how it's always been done. And then finally, it's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if they said to me, for example, dude, why do you care? And I'd be like, dude, why do you breathe? Because you made
I'd
this
be like, why
shitty
don't you?
project.
And I'd be like, dude, where's my car?
Yes, apparently the another deflection was to say that GTA 5 uses pre-made assets as well. Boom.
No, they don't.
And Splashy Diamond 7 said pre-made assets taken from whose games? Their own. So yeah,
And even if they did, that's another form of deflection that the opposition like to use. Great to see JDA, one of the most successful non-black comic creators out there. I hope you're doing well, my good man. Technically, he's Mexican, but I think they're all white anyway. But it's great to see that we're managing to peel. I know, but it's great to see we're managing to peel the layers off of this unscrupulous creature.
Yeah, Thea, aka Shit Spout. One name means vomit, the other means poop. 50% of gamers are women, by the way.
Bullshit.
I mean, it's just a non sequitur, but that's not true at all. It's never been true, and it never will be true. At best,
yes,
20%.
but you have to play the victim. You have to be part of that victim mentality. These are how these
opposition don't even know what womanhood is.
Just
So
look
then,
at Alyssa Mercante.
the next thing that
Not a
came out
woman.
was a little while ago. Grums updated everything you need to know about Dustborn, as it turned out that the 150,000 euros that they had received from the European Union, government funding, bitch, taxpayer money to make Dustborn, was actually a drop in the bucket. There, in fact, was quite a lot more, as the Norwegian Film Institute funded the game for 14 million kroner, which is about $1.4 million. So effectively, Dustborn is an Antifa training game. You bash the fash, says Grums. Sounds dirty, doesn't it? Across the divided states of America by using vocal powers to call people racist. And let's not forget, canceling them, normalizing weird behavior, and bullying people. Ladies and
I just need
gentlemen,
to do something.
Dustborn.
Yeah, this is real. Sorry, I had to pinch myself.
Yeah, made in Norway, which is surprising.
So this game is effectively an EU psyop. Then, yeah, they
And
made the worst game ever.
I mean, the EU is not just a government organization. It's even greater than that. The European Union is like the middle ground step between national government and global government, despite the fact that
super globalist.
Yeah, it's a step. It's a step towards globalism, and Europe is far more diverse than, say, the Middle East, which is all full of sand people, or Africa, which is full of Atreians. And trying to unite those different groups of people is exceedingly difficult. The EU is trying and failing, which is why they've opened their borders to let in less diverse people. And they're bringing in projects like these, subsidizing them. And almost every, if not every, government-sponsored project in regards to pop culture and entertainment is a dead-on arrival project.
Yeah. People, as it turns out, and this is I'm being kind of sarcastic. People can detect when they're being fed lines of, pre-washed, manufactured diversity crap. People can tell when the information they're being fed is inauthentic, when it isn't organic. This is why the most successful person at the moment in terms of politics for unifying white people, black people, Hispanic people, etc., is Donald Trump. Because actually, and he's orange. But the point is that you can try to put out this propaganda shit and everyone will reject it, even if it's just because it's so obviously propaganda.
I mean, I watched the entire DNC bullshit, right? So I was just watching it thinking, are people in this stadium actually buying what the fuck they're saying?
No, they go to the free concert beforehand, and then they leave gradually as the politicians are speaking.
Yeah, the DNC was a joke. If you saw the RNC, there were just so many people. It was absolutely like standing room only. DNC, 20% attendance.
It's projects like Dustborn, folks, are narrative control projects. Throw everything against the wall, see what sticks. It doesn't matter how much is put into it. It's just a basis for narrative control in regards to popular culture. Concord's another example of this. $150 million US, took 6 to 8 years to make, depending on whether you count pre-production as time, and only hundreds of people are playing it, if that, and it cost $150 million US. If that ain't a way of pushing narrative control, I don't know what is. And the big point of narrative control is media attention, especially in the first few days of release. You're seeing this with Rings of Power as well. It's all about controlling the narrative and reinforcing the bubble around the normies, because if they can keep the bubble around the normies, they can gaslight them into believing that Dustborn is a success, that Concord is a success, that Rings of Power is a success. That's how they do it. And they succeed at doing it very well, because it's a narrative. It's got nothing to do with truth or falsehood. It's all about narrative control.
Absolutely right. And as we can see here, the player base is dead. I mean, like right now there are 20, well, there are 19 apparently, but there were 25 a little while ago.
And give Will or give Hypno a budget of, I say, $1 to $2 million US to make a game, right? It doesn't matter what kind of game it is. It would get
like an old school JRPG.
It would get more support than this game. The fact that it's government funded makes it more egregious, but the whole point of woke entertainment is to push narrative control. Nothing more and nothing less. That's why they keep putting it out there, despite the fact it never makes a profit. It's all about the narrative.
That's it. And the player base is not really changed over the last week, except for last night, or well, whatever time that was. You're looking at 17 was the all-time low. And there you go.
Well, you know why? Because there was nothing good on TV last night. And so people like, yeah, I'm going to go play this shit.
People our age, Darby, and this is with great respect to older viewers of this channel.
Are you calling me old? Right.
People our age don't watch anything on this on a television. People don't use it. It's an archaic form of media projection because the mainstream media is full of narrative control.
Hello, Smash JT.
Hey,
Welcome to the show.
Thank
I
you
didn't
for
tell
having me.
anyone. Yeah, welcome, man.
I'm sorry. I'm
Just in time too. We were actually just wrapping up talking about Dustborn, which has been just amusing as hell for the last few days, and we're moving on to your best friend,
Oh, goodness.
the greatest journalist who ever lived, the solid snake of no, she sucks at doxing
The
people.
flaccid snake.
The flaccid snake.
Before we even move on to her, I was listening while I was making breakfast and getting the kids ready for school this morning in my headphones. And a couple things about the Dustborn situation, just to clarify. They didn't steal it from Grand Theft Auto 5. What got found out was they purchased an asset pack, which is really equally as bad. The asset pack that they purchased was created by a person who was found out on Twitter coming forward saying, yeah, I created that. And they're like, oh, did Grand Theft Auto steal it from you or buy it from you? He's like, no, I based my design off of the apartment from Grand Theft Auto. Then it got purchased from him. So it's kind of like a once removed thing. It wasn't Rockstar stealing it or copying it or purchasing an asset. Rockstar made their game, made their studio, made the apartment. Then somebody else in design created it based off of that. Not even loosely based. It was like a direct copy of it. And then Dustborn unknowingly just purchased it and injected it into the game to save money and time. I just thought it was interesting that the shit spout,
yeah,
which I'll never get over.
We had a good laugh at that.
I found it curious that they just didn't have any accountability, and if anything, just offloaded it onto the community, like we're the problem for questioning it. And I feel like they made a mountain out of a nothing burger, really, if they just explained it properly instead of just saying, the F do you care? Like, it's not your, like this, that. It's like, well, clearly you're trying to hide something. And that's even more curious when you start attacking people right away. So,
yeah, that was pathetic. That's the textbook thing that they do, which was just saying, like, whenever you catch someone like this doing something they shouldn't be doing one way or another, whether it's changing or race swapping or gender swapping a character or just straight up doing an asset flip like this, the first response you get is always, why do you care? Or no, we're not. You know, it's so disingenuous, and it's the start. Because then, of course, it's go on, man.
I was going to say, I actually got an email from a Norwegian 3D artist that saw my video, and he didn't want to be named, but he said I can use this information if I want. So I'm not going to say his name, but he said that it's common practice for production companies, game studios included, to buy assets and use available asset packs. Red Thread being no exception. But for me personally, it kills me every time this comes up in my job because I am passionate about creating stuff, not slapping pre-made assets into a scene and calling it a day.
Yeah.
When I do get to the point using the asset environment in this manner, it's just plain lazy. Literally just bought the asset and new material and moved some furniture around. It's the best response Red Thread could have done to explain this. However, mentioned developer Thea, in English not their first language, so I'm doing my best to quasi.
That's okay, dude.
Mentioned developer Thea instead wanted to use this as an opportunity to create drama. It's like, yeah, that's. I mean, they said a lot more than that, but I thought it was fascinating that an actual 3D artist, Norwegian 3D artist, responded via direct email to me and said, like, I loved your video, watched it, and yes, it's common practice, but it kills me being a 3D artist that it ultimately coming from them, they're saying it's just lazy to do what they did here.
It sounds like something I would do to make a game. It's like, let's buy all these assets from other games and put them into my project, and then slap reality based on the front of the product.
It sounds like the last thing I would ever do if I was trying to create something. It's you do not do this. If you're going to make something, if I was going to like draw something or make a film or whatever, I would try to do as much of it.
You'd want to create your own world. You want
Yeah.
to be art that you made, like to really be proud of, not be like asset flip, slap that in there. All right, let's just grab this house, throw it in there. It's like, what are we doing? We're not even making a game anymore.
That's like it's like all the branding for my channel. I did it, all of it. Like I drew every picture, I animated everything myself at like complete grassroots. Because I happened to have developed the skills to do all that. So I did. The only thing I think
Very good at it.
The only thing I didn't create myself at first was the music, but I'm slowly replacing that with music that I did create. So
well, you can just sing the Eminem beats.
Yeah, that was better received than I thought it would be.
That was incredible.
Quite honestly,
my son
did
loved
that.
it, by the way. He's a big fan of Eminem, so he was really digging your.
I mean, if you
that's cool. I really get roasted alive for that, but people were like, "Oh wow, this is actually lit." I was like, "Wow, someone called me lit." I feel 20
if
years.
you're gonna steal like an apartment or try and develop something,
Or buy one,
in your game, right? What you would want to do is, oh look, we're making a Star Wars game. Where would most people likely be in the Star Wars universe? Let me think. Coruscant. Why would a GTA apartment look like an apartment? It wouldn't even match a planet-wide city. This is where, and then at the same time, yeah, you're right. It's just about getting drama. It's just about, hey, look, we're going to piss off more people. We're going to try and get more people to get all riled up.
Yeah, publicity to ensure narrative control. That's a new reality-based word I'm going to spread around, folks. Because our opposition's greatest weapon is narrative control. And Smash JT, thankfully, through someone he communicated with, brought up an example of that the opposition stir up trouble to try and control the narrative, for lack of
I feel like that's one of the special powers you can obtain in Dustborn. Narrative control.
It is. We saw a bunch of their powers a little while ago. It was like we have learned the ability to cancel someone.
They didn't like that
isolating them or something so that they can't be helped by anybody.
Right.
And that will be useful in battles. And then there was another one that was bully. So you can make people feel bad about certain things that you think they should feel bad about. And I was like, this is Twitter. This is literally. And the third one was normalize, which basically said that they could convince people that their negative feelings are actually perfectly fine and there's nothing wrong with them.
Like literally giving people a blueprint into their mind virus on how it works.
It's insane, right? I didn't think I said it at the time. It's either the most self-aware game that's ever existed or the least. Or it was so completely unself-aware as to be in the dark about what
I feel like to that point, it's actually really impressive just how perfectly they nailed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like really, if you want,
the definitions are the best I've ever heard. Like they are better than anything we've been able to come up with.
It's gonna be the most credit I ever give Dustborn.
Yeah, they really know what they are talking about. When they talk about
they didn't have like backdrops in the game with like vote Kamala, vote for her son, daughter, son. What the?
I for one wouldn't use terms like trigger or cancel. I'd use reality-based terms for them.
Hold triangle to trigger was another one that came up. So if you hold the triangle button for a little while, you can there's like a trigger command. I don't know.
You're racist.
Last couple of days ago after SNH, I really did not want to play the game anymore. After this, I'm really kind of thinking I kind of want to play this. I kind of want to.
I mean, I don't know. I watched Kilted Cajun played it last night for like 15 minutes before he ended the stream, and I'm just like, it was pain. It was really painful.
Yeah, maybe I need to see someone else's stream first because now I'm kind of thinking
it is better than NyQuil. It'll knock you right out. Like you don't.
I'd rather pre-order and marathon play through Dragon Age Dreadwolf or Veilguard or whatever it's going to be called now.
Is that lesbian game?
Yeah, for lack of a better term. I'd rather pre-order it and marathon play through it than play Dustborn as a game.
Reality
Every game's a lesbian game now.
You're gonna need to be more specific.
It's like I'm watching Star Wars. Is that lesbian show? Like, you know.
Well, the coloring is bright purple-esque pink, which is the lesbian color.
Oh no! Oh,
We're
no.
not gonna
They all
watch
have their
how you
own
know
damn
that.
color schemes as well. It drives you crazy.
Mm.
Anyway,
You're right.
speaking of irritating women, we have to segue at some point to
sorry for
dear-
derailing. I just wanted to get
No,
that
no,
all
no,
in.
you're good, man. It's glad to hear. I'm glad to hear you talk about that as well. But yeah, we do have to deal with the minds of madness. The
I'm
mind of
getting
Mercante.
ready. Bring her on. Bring her on. Let's do
I mean, if
this.
she's in the chat, she's welcome to jump in and debate us anytime she wants. But
Don't hold
I
your breath.
think she will. Yeah. No. I mean, we've got 3 people from her list
Hey,
on this
Alyssa,
stream. So.
if you're watching, I don't hold any grudges after you purge my fucking chat.
Well, speaking of holding grudges, she certainly does, and I'd argue that at least you, Smash, have got more reason to hold a grudge than anyone. But you seem to be you deal with her in quite a clinical way, considering
Well,
the
I
things
don't.
she's tried to do. Yeah.
I guess it boils down to this is what really pisses her off. I am a genuinely happy person. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold stress in my life. I turn the camera off and I go to my family and enjoy my life. I don't get bogged down with this stuff. There's another world for me outside of this. So I think that really gets to her.
A world of hot tubs and jet skis and living the high life, living the American dream while she's microwaving cats and writing insane reviews.
So I've been trying to keep somewhat abreast of what's going on here, and I'd forgotten just how much shit she did. So I ended up going right down the rabbit hole today, and I discovered that I forgot more than half of the stuff that she's done since the beginning. I mean, she first popped into our periphery nearly 6 months ago.
Oh, dude, Kyle is so good at keeping tabs on everyone with everything.
I know, yeah, yeah. So this is just kind of a montage of the first thing that she was responsible for, which was, of course, basically defending Sweet Baby Ink. She wrote this article.
Put her on my radar. Was that article? That's what put her on a lot of people's radar.
That's it. Kamala Harris's kid.
She said she spoke to the Sweet Baby team and infiltrated the Discord group, the Sweet Baby Ink Detected Discord group, and she describes it as infiltration. I would describe it as playing Metal Gear Solid, wearing the wrong camouflage and running around firing an assault rifle into the air while screaming in the middle of a guarded base. It's really not clever the way she went about this.
Well, we all handle our stealth mode games differently.
No, she went in with her name, her picture, and her job title, and tried to get all the gamers there to dox themselves effectively under the guise of, I'll give you 5 seconds of fame in an interview for Kotaku. Of course, it didn't work, and we all started ripping the piss out of her, leading her to more or less go off the deep end. Within, I don't even know when this
Kamala
was.
Harris's kid pretending to be Alyssa Mercante?
By the end of March, she was already doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of incredible. Like, you have to, because I was trying to work out like what kind of insane person would delude themselves into thinking that cease and desist letter that we will get to would actually accomplish anything. And it's this person we can see right here.
A progressive alcoholic. I mean, folks, I can literally showcase to you all an example of Mercante before she was radicalized by wokeness and alcoholism. She was a perfectly normal woman.
True, but before you keep saying alcoholism, don't forget she does have a tweet saying, "Just because you do coke does not make you a cokehead." So you might have missed that one. That
I didn't know that.
That was from 2016 or 2017. It popped up. Someone shared it with me, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Alyssa and Nick Recader need to hook up. God damn.
God, no. But yeah, so she was already beginning to melt down, and it's weird to because I went through all this shit and I looked at it and I saw the dates and it's a long time ago that a lot of this stuff happened, and it all happened so very quickly. But it feels like at the time it was quite separate events, but no, it's like one thing after another. Every 2 to 3 days, this woman goes crazy and does something really insane. Like, I mean, she of course showed up in the chat on one of our streams, which I thought was more recent than it is. It was actually in April. She showed up, not in the chat, or if she was in the chat, we didn't know at that time. But this was when we were alerted to the fact that she was watching us. It was when we first had Grums on, and she's sitting insulting us, saying that we don't wash. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever you say, bitch. I don't care. You look like you don't think. Farm Folks came about, and then she did an interview with the guy from that, but completely and totally mischaracterized what he said. Kolshikov. I don't know.
That sounds like Kalashnikov, but
you remember that?
How she misrepresented him?
How she got the information? You're about to get to it, but I still can't get over the audacity of someone that would give someone the time for an interview for a piece and then mistranslate it. And then the person politely, like reading through all this, like, hey, I think you misunderstood. Can we clarify this? You don't get to tell me how I write things. I'm like, we're on two different planets right now. Like, how does that even happen? What kind of professional like person would obviously?
Well, I mean, that is the operative word, isn't it? She's not remotely professional.
Are you still employed at a company treating the people like you are representing your company? Every other game creator, developer, indie developer will now look at Kotaku as we ain't touching them with a 10-foot pole because of this. And Kotaku does not have any accountability, which is going to be their ultimate downfall, because they're not saying we screwed up, we'll get it right. Please, other developers, keep coming to us. Like they just, it blows my mind. But anyway,
I think that's the plan. I think her plan is to completely tank Kotaku's reputation. She gets all the funds from the trans charity and from getting, GoFundMe's for her quote unquote legal campaign, which won't happen. And with all those funds, she'll be able to have a nice financial parachute to parachute away when Kotaku crashes and burns. And yes, I did see that previous photograph when Grums was first on. I have lost hair and I do look fatter, but I'm still here. I'm not queer, and we're going to steer into the next topic. Go ahead, Will.
Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, that's true.
The other thing with what she's saying is like, I'm not a service, I'm not all of this. That's not your fucking job. Is that you're reporting on? You're meant to be a journalist. It's your job. Like, and then she has to play the victim. It's like, you don't get to dictate to me how I represent you. Goodbye. What she really means is, I'm going to block you for 10 seconds. Then I'm going to attack you with the Kotaku bots. And then
in a sense, she's like working for him. She's benefiting from having an interview with him. She's shedding light on a situation.
Well, this is not shedding light on a situation. This is creating a narrative, using him to create her narrative and push an agenda. And when he tried to push back on that, saying, no, I'm not part of that narrative, that's when she lost her mind here. It's like, no, you are.
So rude to him. The point is, she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be objective. She's supposed to be writing what he wants her to say. He talks, and then she presents that in a professionally presented way, that is the role of the journalist in essence. But she's not doing that. No, she's spinning a narrative and then making it all about her, and then literally criticizing him like his words are her property, and it's not up to him how she uses them.
That's the nail on the head of narrative control, because folks like Mercante are trying to build a narrative. If you are supportive of that effort, whether it is ignorantly or maliciously, if you support that narrative, you will get support. As soon as you question their narrative control, they come at you like a bunch of hungry, rabid wolves. And it's very interesting that we can see a literal example of this. And that's all the power these progressives have, these agents of the entertainment establishment have. It's all bark, no bite, and it's all just to garner interest in publicity, to get revenue through donations so that they can survive while the companies who sustain them collapse.
But that was about the time that I think we'd all decided that Kotaku had to go, right? And that was the time that I became aware of what you were doing, Smash JT, with your petition to get rid of Kotaku.
Ironically, never really took off, but that didn't stop my channel from taking off.
You benefited,
this was like the epicenter of my channel taking off, but it didn't really even go anywhere.
That's because people,
the narrative moved away from the petition and to you and
exactly. People appeal far more, like ordinary people, viewers appeal far more to creators as sort of vanguards of the people. You see this with Trump on steroids. He is literally a vanguard of the people. People are not really committed to causes as much as they are to people, or at least idealized versions of said people. That's why your campaign didn't do nearly as well as you did, Smash. And I think once you become a prominent creator, which is above 100,000 subscribers, which is going to happen, I think over the next 12 months, you'll be able to turn that appeal to you and what you do into a much stronger campain. And by the time that happens...
Ironically, it's never supposed to be about me.
Maybe I think you even said that in the blurb for the petition. It was all just you dressing down Kotaku. You weren't talking about yourself or anything like that. It was I signed it. I think I signed it. I don't know if I signed it in this show or immediately afterwards or something, because I didn't want to dox myself. But but literally, this was how I heard about you from Ryan, and we were doing an episode of this very stream. We had a look at it, and I was very impressed. But
this should be real quick. This should be almost like a call to action for any creator that is trying to grow. Like, do shit, like do something, make a difference. Like don't just like keep running your head into the wall like I did for 8 years. Like I finally decided, like, you know what? No, I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna make a stand on something, and it really benefited me. So that's something I think a lot of people gets lost, because everyone's trying to keep up with the rat race of, oh, I need to be on this podcast, I need to do this show, I need to. It's like, yes, that's important, but don't forget that you also need to stand out by doing something that no one else is doing, that people want to be done.
Absolutely. I mean, like, honest, now that, you know, after having my channel purged, I'm far more potent now when I call this shit out. Like yesterday, I really ripped this the review of, what was it? I read about this idiot on Steam that was like trying to say that Black Myth Wukong wasn't diverse enough, and I did a whole live stream on it. But I'm far more potent now, because I'm fully aware of every single time people actually speak their mind, you're going to have these fucking idiots come after you. And I have people always telling me, oh, you swear too much. You're so toxic. I'm like, I'm not toxic.
You're like the least sweary one of the usual.
I'm trying to radicalize him, folks. It's not easy because there's not much of Dobby to radicalize, but I am trying.
I think it is there. I think, Will, you've probably seen this, and maybe Ryan to an extent as well. There is a overall balance that is just there when it comes to the internet, where no matter what you do and say, there will always be the other side that tries to knock you down.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
but I think the greater challenge smaller channels have is that's a much greater force against you. When you start being the nail that sticks out, everyone becomes a hammer trying to knock you down.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And you need to really just...
That's a really good analogy, actually.
And you need to really just stand out and be like, no, I literally, what you're trying to stop, it does not affect me. And once I took that kind of approach, they all kind of went away. So like, well, I can't knock that down.
But then, like, you've gone through all the effort of making a petition, and then you share one tweet.
One tweet. Well, actually, I shared. That was funny. That
this
day,
one, but
this is back when my Twitter would get like very minimal interaction. I'd get like maybe 3 likes on a post. I did that Kotaku thing. What's that?
Not anymore. Now I was going through all this stuff, collecting these pictures earlier on.
Mhm.
You get massive engagement now compared to
Yeah,
now.
it's insane now. But back then it was like 3 or 4 hearts on a post, and
Mhm.
I did the Kotaku petition. And that day after I released the video, it did all right. It like it wasn't gangbusters, but it wasn't a floundering flop either. It did all right. And then the subsequent tweets of people tweeting about it, it created a movement. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just retweet. And I started getting a lot of people saying, hey, saw Smash JT's video. Hey, this, that, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, retweet. And it started coming through fast, like 7 or 10 or 12 in like a 8-minute span. And I'm doing other things too. I don't just sit on Twitter all day. So I go back to it. I'd be like, cool, this person mentioned it. So I'd retweet. And one of them was this. And I thought literally nothing of it.
Yeah, of course. And it started. I don't know if you'd be like in the prominent position that you're in now if you hadn't retweeted.
Oh, thank you for retweeting it, though.
Thing.
Thank you for retweeting it, though, Smash, because
you pushed her over the edge, dude.
Because
well, I think she was looking for something to push her over the edge. This is
definitely.
not even a big deal.
Polish Video Productions, who is a great VR-based content creator, he's known as taking America virtual. He's criminally underrated. Yeah. What he does is very much a niche. He highlighted the problem with this thing so much so that he virtually executed her in a VR game, which was funny as fuck.
Well, did he actually do that? I mean, because I never saw the video in the end. I couldn't find it. So I think he was just capping people in the game, right?
Which is interesting.
Calling now Alyssa or something.
Before Ryan even answers that, it's interesting because remember, Alyssa, as soon as Trump got shot at, was making stormtrooper memes. So
I know, yeah.
Apparently, she's allowed to do it to other people. But when people do it to her, she loses their goddamn mind. But go on,
yeah,
Ryan.
because it's the two-faced nature of our opposition. But Polish is a great guy. He's criminally underrated. He was driven mad by the medical establishment in the United States, which prompted him to start his creator journey. Not how I'd recommend starting out.
No,
folks,
I saw your interview with him.
Own.
That was very interesting. Yeah,
a great guy. And he's always welcome on reality base because we love platforming.
Yeah, or here if he wants to.
Creators, yeah.
I was one of the first people on reality base, like 3 years ago.
One of the. Thank goodness for Keely Chow for recommending you to me back when we did suggestion videos. Then we made Smash a Rising Star a few months later. So I've been aware of Smash since early to mid 2022.
Ironically, yeah, Ryan is the first person I knew out of this entire group, and I knew him for like 2 years.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, it was
So I think I met Hypno first, and then Ryan through him, and then Ryan featured me later.
It's just funny how
I was inactive at that time actually because
it's funny how social media works because now that you know these people, I couldn't imagine not knowing. You know what I mean? I'm like, how do I talk to you guys?
All of you every day. We all talk to each other like, oh,
I never thought in 2022 when I gave my thoughts on Smash JT, a criminally underrated content creator who had been there and done it for years, was trying his best to keep his head above water as a creator. I never imagined I'd be able to speak to him once a week in a few years' time.
That's funny how life works.
So this is from you again, JT. This is Alyssa. I believe this is her first message ever to you.
Yep, that is her. Well, you might not understand the colloquialisms in America. That's kind of how we say hello to each other.
Oh, right. Is that like how in Australia you drop C bombs instead of like, hey, buddy?
I mean, if you're going to read this as like, you know, a radio voiceover, you could be like, you and your ilk are sending harassment towards
ilk. She
people.
says ilk in like a DM. It's
in a DM. I didn't even respond to this. I was like,
no, I know. I can see you didn't. Yeah.
I literally had like the Happy Gilmore walking away from Bob Barker, like he's like, psych.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole idea of you're a 45-year-old man. Give it a break, Alyssa. You're the one who's like shit scared of being on social media. You need a backbone.
Yeah, I mean, you platformed a person who has expressed a desire to be violent against me. No, he nonchalantly retweeted something that looked funny, probably didn't even fully take it in, and it just happened to be somebody who was joking about how annoying you are and decided to dramatize
Well, here's
it.
the thing, though. Even if it was as bad as she said it was, I would have, because it affected her and offended her, I would have felt bad. But then I see her do the same exact damn thing to Trump 3 months later. I'm like, wait a second.
Well, you did take it down, didn't you?
I did.
seem
Yeah,
to remember,
I undid the retweet right away when I saw that. But apparently that's not enough. I was just like, okay, she's mad. I even told her, I'm like, okay, I'll undo the retweet. Had no idea that it offended
Then
you.
you had people attacking you for taking it down, right? Like,
Yep.
you're
they're like,
trying
you
to
should've left
hide.
it up. Yeah, I'm like, who cares? Like, it's if something offended me that much, which doesn't, you got to really try to offend me. Like, you got to get personal with me. But if someone did that and I reached out to them, more obviously I'd be kinder than this. But like, hey, could you take that down? That's not cool. You know, whatever. I would hope that they would take it down and just respect. You know what I mean? And be like, okay, whatever. That I understand. And then move on. And I want to extend that same courtesy to other people when I do it. So that was what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, she doesn't like this. I'm going to undo it. Just like I'd like someone to do that for me.
That's it. And it kept going and going and going. Of course, she got doxxed. This is actually, I made this originally, and then you used it on your site, and I took it back from your site today. So
I hope I gave you credit for it. I hope I didn't just steal it.
You linked to the video as well, so thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah. Then of course she's whining about getting doxxed, but this is after she had contacted your wife, right? I think.
Yes.
It's not long. It was around about the same time. And then she was complaining about you. So she contacted your wife. Hypno chimes in and roasts the ever-loving shit out of her, says like, you're fucked up for doing it. Why would you involve someone's family? What's next? Messaging someone's wife.
I remember a lot of people were giving him pushback on that because they don't understand sarcasm.
I remember that, yeah. They thought he was dead serious, yeah. He's hardly ever serious on Twitter.
Ever. Well, I mean, he can be very serious sometimes.
There's only a couple of instances where I've seen him get really serious, and that was like,
you know, like, yeah.
Don't be fatal with Hypno. Wink, wink.
But the thing is, like, Alyssa Mercante is another example of people who come online, they're looking for a fight, and they have no backbone. The thing is, like, one thing that I've learned as a content creator is people are always going to give you shit. Whatever you say, people are going to like say things that are going to rile you up, and you need a certain backbone. If you're going to be a journalist, you need to have a backbone. You need to not play the victim. You're a journalist. Your job is to report on things. It's not to cry victim and then just hide away like a little bitch. Come out.
She's not a journalist, though.
She's not at all a journalist. No, she's an activist, and she's a hustler too.
She's been an activist before she worked at Kotaku, like literally in March.
I found her tweets from Gamergate 1 and things like that. Yeah,
this woman's context, especially comments rather than context, add to a wider context that she's a rabid alcoholic, so she's probably making these tweets while intoxicated.
This is the one before she got doxxed.
This is the most important tweet she's ever made, because this unravels her entire case, because this is her antagonizing people to dox her.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I saw her write that, I'm like, you don't do that to the internet. When I read that, I'm like, this is someone begging people to come after her and then to cry victim when it happens. I'm like, I already see. We've all seen this movie play out before. Like, you don't write this to the internet. This is
exactly. So she challenged the internet, got doxxed, then decided to threaten legal action. Then she said she was going to threaten legal action against Smash JT. So you had to release a statement, which we don't need to go through the whole thing. I'm just keeping these on screen to show that they are real. They did happen, and we have the receipts. We carry on. And then the next thing that happened was, of course, the great big list. There was a spreadsheet of all our videos. There's a better version of it there. There's the amended list. There it is for in posterity with all our names on it, and some of our friends and some people I've never met. But
and some people who sound like this. Literally, they sound like this. I can't understand it.
That's what I think I sound like when I hear myself back. You have to get over that.
she shoots herself in the foot more than Plexical Burris.
Then, of course, we had the whole thing with SmashJT.com, which really pissed me off. I was very angry when I heard that had happened. I was like, middle of the night, I was messaging you.
You can imagine how pissed you were. You can imagine how pissed I was. If you were pissed.
I was talking to you. You were beside yourself.
Will's evil clone tried to destroy SmashJT.com, folks.
Yeah.
I'm like,
we
after
decided that Nick Calandra is like my evil twin because he kind of looks like he could be a relative of mine.
I don't, like I said earlier, I don't hold grudges against people because
Hey, Hypno's here too.
Hey, what's up?
Jump
Hypno?
in if you want, Hypno. We've got another. We'll run over a bit, guys, if that's all right, because we've got to get to the end of this.
I don't hold grudges because I don't have time in my life for that. But I do remember, you know what I mean? And when people do stuff like this, it's easy to forget and move on. Like with Nick Calandra, like he pretends to be a good boy all the time and just moving on with his life. I'm like, no, F that guy. He's not a good person. And he will forever not be a good person. He continues to prove that. And same with Alyssa. Like, F her. She's a bad person. She will forever be a bad person. I'm not going to hold a grudge, but I do know who you are. And you've shown yourself. You're not going to be able to put a mask on and hide. Like, no, you've shown yourself. This is who you are. Like,
yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Everything she does reveals that there's just this sort of dark heart of malevolence in her. Like, she really is just a nasty piece of work, and that's probably the nicest way I've ever described her.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, you are much nicer than I am, and I'm much nicer than most. So that is saying something.
Yeah, I'm not nice when it comes to her. I can be.
This is the dark side of Dobby. Yeah,
I'm just evil, according to everyone. I'm just pure evil incarnate.
I'd say you're more
like,
neutral.
A side of me that when people do that shit to my channel, I do kind of.
How many subs did you have, Dobby, before you got purged?
Oh, it must have been just over 300.
Right. So if she is spiteful enough to purge a content creator that minimal, no disrespect to you if you have 300 subscribers.
None taken.
If she could do that to someone like Dobby and get away with it, conceivably she'd try to do it to everyone. Let's be real.
Not excess. He's
Yeah,
working on
I
a
don't get
cease and
offended.
desist
Like-
for Smash JT because he's utilizing white privilege to gain too many subscribers.
I will just use that to grift off of. So please, I would love to entertain.
My channel is under attack.
The race to 100,000 subscribers just got a lot more interesting for Hypno.
We'll just all beat the shit out of each other to grow together.
We'll just turn on each other. Everyone heel turn right now.
Smash, release a comic book, and then everyone will hate you for some reason.
Well, no, I'll have to pick a side in the comic book war, and that way people will hate me. 50% of people will hate me.
I can't do that. I can't. I listen to both sides of that, and it's getting crazy and crazier and crazier. But anyway, before that drags me down a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. Alyssa Mercante again. This is the first instance of talking about crowdfunding a lawyer, May 29th. I didn't think it was that long ago. It's been a really weird ride, this, hasn't it? It's like that's before my kid was born.
Yeah,
That
a
feels
weird
like
ride with Alyssa Mercante. I think weird is probably the least of your problems.
I had forgotten about this one that she had said, should I crowdfund all the way back then? So she's been thinking about this even before her scam charity thing.
She needs money. She needs money because she knows the walls are closing in with Kotaku, so she needs.
Well, hell, even if the walls were closing in, you think Kotaku pays a salary for New York City?
No, that's a very interesting part actually, because she must have a rough ass time trying to live on even a senior editor of a fucking know nothing website like Kotaku, living in New York. I don't know where exactly she lives, but there's no cheap part, really, is there? From what I understand.
No. New York.
So there you go.
New York is insane. I mean, you literally, as soon as you make money in New York, you've lost it. You need to keep on working. It's nuts.
Yeah, I'm glad I
Lives
never made
in
it there.
Brooklyn, works in the Bronx. You
Not
know
so,
what for,
hey,
folks.
not so different than San Diego. Why do you think I'm always grifting here?
Hey, I'm in
Right.
Chicago, so
I'm like a microcosm of that. It's very cheap to live here, but I'm only small, so there
Yeah,
you
it's cheaper. It is cheaper in the South Wales valleys than in America's megacities, but I'm not getting enough donations at the moment. So more donations, please.
Well, there you go. The grift is real. So yeah, she carries on going on about lawyers that she's talking to. Someone rips the piss out of her, says, "Crowdfund, I dare you." Then you'll find out just how unpopular you are. You get a few donations from fellow journalists and the odd DEI activist types, which will add up to a few bucks total, but you're going to get 0 from gamers. Congratulations. Nice reference. You are loser.
I bet that reference didn't even land on her. She's probably like, God, these non-journalists are so dumb they can't even spell congratulations.
Yeah, she probably didn't get that it was from Ghostbusters.
English.
I think.
I thought it was from pro wrestling. Was it also?
Oh, maybe it's pro wrestling too. I think there's "You Are Winner" or something like that.
You are
as well.
You are winner.
Yeah. Maybe that's the wrestling one. Then of course summer came. We had Summer Games Fest, and we got the
People in the industry to be a little bit
the
louder
nugget.
about people being mean to other people, and maybe say it's not a good thing.
So I have to avoid the C-bomb.
Diverse, you stupid motherfucker.
She really does look like Artie Ziff, doesn't she?
Look at that sour-faced.
It looks like Marge's ex-boyfriend.
I'd say she looks like a female Artie Ziff, but no, she just looks like Artie Ziff.
She looks like Artie Ziff, exactly like Artie Ziff. Yeah.
No wonder
That's-
she has
that's what it
tinted
is.
glasses. It's all the cocaine she snorts.
Damn it, folks. 13 years ago, Alyssa Mercante was an ordinary American gal who hadn't been radicalized by wokeness,
by
who
college.
by college,
She went to university in the UK.
Yeah, she went to Newcastle University.
Sorry.
She got
Don't
her
know about where you guys are.
she got her tuition cut because she married one of her friends to ensure she could get her tuition cut.
Is that true?
Yes, that is true, and it can be found out. And it's in between 2012 to 2016 that this woman got radicalized by a mixture of wokeness and alcoholism and Newcastle University. Newcastle's a shithole.
And potentially
it's in the north
cocaine, according to her old tweets.
England. Yes, that
Newcastle
that
is
as well.
Newcastle's okay, but it does represent the north.
She
of
literally,
England.
she literally has a YouTube channel that's still up of her not radicalized by wokeness. She did a few like videos on makeup and stuff. And
What's the channel called?
I should do a live stream covering those.
What's the channel called? Come on.
Oh, I gotta find it now.
While he's finding it, Will, don't unpause it. Look at that freeze frame of the porn stash guy behind her. The
You just move her slightly to the right, and you've got just literally one of those like porno memes where it's like your face when this happens.
I'm sharing my screen now, folks. You can all see it. There she is.
Oh, it's
Right
Alyssa
there.
15. Yeah, this is mentioned on Kiwi Farms actually.
Yeah, there she is. Look. She's not radicalized and she doesn't look crazy.
Actually, she's pretty hot.
Yeah, she was all right looking back at then. Oh yeah, I found it. Yeah, Alyssa 15. Yeah.
I mean, she had a lot of potential. I guess we'll go that way.
Download these videos before she destroys this channel, folks.
Yeah, because now that we've talked about it, it will get back to her that we've talked about it.
But if she is in the chat, hey, Alyssa, if you're watching this, we're pretty friendly. Come on the channel.
No.
That's
why I think
This is it. This is the channel.
Okay, so what I have for you guys today is a Quinn Fabray inspired makeup look. Quinn Fabray is the pregnant cheerleader from Glee, although she's
You know what it is? I'm going to try to decipher this
She was
right
a
now.
much nicer person.
She had a very bad, I'm guessing, a very bad relationship, and some man completely ruined her. And
I would imagine that.
And
yeah.
she just got so angry at men that she got the tattoo. She revolted against society. This guy totally just broke her.
To answer Hypnotic's question,
This is who the fuck is this? Yes, I know. That is the question.
This is Alyssa Mercante somewhere between 2011 to 2013.
It was her
And she's a
13
follower,
years ago.
and she's a follower of Christ as well.
Pyro potion.
What?
The
Where do you see
original,
that?
Not.
Yeah, she's wearing a cross. Yeah.
Oh wow.
She's wearing a cross.
And
Wow, yeah.
I'm just
I mean,
gonna
trifecta.
spread that all over my lid. And
It talks in a much nicer.
dry.
So she's not doing that vocal fry thing that she does all the time
trying to
too.
pretend like she's
living
her voice.
living proof that the woke mind virus is a real thing, folks. So you're gonna find people like Alyssa, compare her and people like her to what they used to be
Give it a
10
like,
to
Will. Give it a
15
like.
10 to 15 years ago, and that'll showcase just how dangerous this ideology is. It's
Wait,
like
switch the comments. Switch the comments to newest. Sort by newest.
Sort by newest first.
It's like the
Ah, damn it.
airborne.
What is the
it's
latest
like
video? Is this our latest video?
Well, I think
I
it's
mean,
one of
just
them.
to like,
Oh no! Don't comment, dog, because that's gonna draw attention. She'll delete it all.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're right.
just to like,
Go to
She
her,
might not even
go-
have studio active anymore.
but go to
for
her
it.
channel and go to her latest video.
Okay. Hang
while
on.
she's doing that, I just want to respond to Hypno, and I'll say, yeah, this is like her first form before she
go to
suddenly
latest
kind of finds, oh my gosh, it's the woke virus. Then she goes into her second form, and then her final form,
Click
where
latest.
she thinks that, yeah.
It's like an
latest,
airborne
sort by newest.
version. It's like an airborne
Hours ago.
6 hours ago, someone wrote, "Nice try, Stalin."
Oh god, because it is actually a game review of a demo.
I will be back once the game is downloaded, and we will play the shit out of this thing.
Okay, so this is her punk rocker stage where she actually was a punk rocker, or
Yeah.
at least a wannabe.
Hello, Norman.
It's kind of weird to like see her transformation.
It's so
Yeah.
bizarre.
Real
It's still in
time
my head, and I'm like, this girl's cool.
No,
She's
this-
like a nice person. She got indoctrinated Reapers. She's
But this
playing
is-
Mass Effect 3.
Exactly, Will. And I think this is one of the rare opportunities, especially given the person we're covering. If it can happen to her, it can happen to anyone on this damn panel. I dare say, if it's strong enough and effective enough, it could happen to all of us. This is
I
an
mean,
incredibly
it's true. It's
dangerous ideology that
No, it's true. You
utterly
see-
destroys people.
You see like Hollywood, like these actors that go in there totally normal, and then they come out the other side, and it's
Yeah.
like, what the hell happened to that person?
You have like the starry-eyed kind of. I did a stream.
Throwing that beef. Sorry.
A
There's
bit
like a beef starting between Hypno and Smash in our chat.
But you have
This
these
is funny.
starry-eyed people, right? That they come, they go to Hollywood or they come online. They're kind of got that whole starry-eye thing, and then they go through all this shit. People are having a go at them, and I think, yeah, I agree with Ryan. This fucking virus that we're dealing with takes normal people, changes them into spiteful activists who just want to fight the whole time for absolutely no reason other than
There is no way that this person would have naturally grown into what she
Exactly.
is now.
Yeah.
I'm going
Hot
to
look.
switch back, so brace yourselves because
Mhm.
the Kansas is going bye-bye, and we're back in this shit tornado to Oz, to paraphrase Jim Leahy from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh god.
This of course is what we're dealing with now.
The problem with that, come fight me physically, bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that?
I mean, she's gone too down the rabbit hole. There's no coming back. Like she's lost. Like it's not.
Yeah.
You can't fix it.
Smeagol and Gollum, folks. We
It
saw
is.
Smeagol
It
and
is.
now we see Gollum. That's why I was making the comparison to like a wokeness is an airborne version of the One Ring, and it's killing everything it's touching.
But
Yeah.
you know what? It's giving us good content, so I can't hate on the woke mind virus that much.
Yeah. It's like going from Victor to Doctor Doom. Anyway, Alyssa Mercante here, of course, arguing the toss after declaring that she wants to fight someone, saying that she will not fight with RadART and she will not fight with anybody for Keemstar because she doesn't want him to make money. Mara Jade shows up and says challenge accepted once again. Mercante refuses and focuses instead on trying to get your access to Comic-Con revoked. This is the chapters. This is insane, this story.
That was something. Hey, me sharing more happiness in my life, and she's just there trying to ruin it. I'm gonna try to get him banned. It's like, what the fuck is your problem? Go write an article. Go play a video game. Get the fuck out
And
of my life.
remember, folks, the whole time, the narrative that she's trying to push is that Smash JT is obsessed with her. That we are all obsessed with her, and that she's the one being victimized and harassed.
And then when she realized that I'm able to make content that doesn't involve her and get more views on it, I think that really pissed her off, because she thought, she even tweeted it, she thought the only reason I was getting views was because of her. She even said that multiple times.
Oh yeah, she recently
you're just the news right now, and you will go away.
This is it, yeah. And then eventually, finally, she showed up. Of course, when you first appeared on SNH, I wasn't there that week, but that
was a banger.
This was at the start of this month, and I remember watching you on Hypnocast last week sometime, and you were talking about her because she had threatened this legal action shit that she's doing now. And I remember both of you were commenting on the fact that she's just pissed because none of us are making videos about her anymore. She disappeared for a month, maybe, like the best part of it. She did a few things here and there, but no one really had enough reason, and we were all just a bit sick of her. You know,
well, I mean, I could make videos on everything she tweets, because pretty much everything she tweets is really goddamn stupid. Like I could, but I'm like, I get bored of it. I'm like, no, it's just a really, after a while, it's just like, it's not even a funny bit. It's just like, that's who you are. And it's really dumb. Like, I'm not going to
depressing, isn't it?
I mean, to give people context in regards to this situation, I was so sick and tired of hearing about this bitch for months.
He was.
Especially because it had been a month.
Careful, Ryan. She's gonna like hearing that. That's what she aims for.
After a month,
that's how you feed it.
Yeah. After a month, I was like, "Thank goodness, we're never gonna hear from this woman again." Then she pops up when I'm trying to make a statement. Atreus is fucking salivating because he loves that bitch, and then I just get my point interrupted by the fucking Atrean, and I'm fucking annoyed. So that'll give you some more context to that clip.
So there is a whole page of Alyssa on Kiwi Farms that's covering a lot of the same stuff I am. I've got to be a little bit careful. I'm pretty sure I already... Oh, no, there's a boob. Yeah, so I had to hide a few of the images that are on this page. Like,
Kiwi Farms
to get rid of them.
Yeah, Kiwi Farms holds nothing back, folks. That's their greatest asset, and sometimes it's their greatest curse. So be prepared. It's not for the faint of heart, that platform.
Yeah, I also I just have kind of a code of what I would consider ethical. Like, you know, I wouldn't show her doxed information unless I had scratched it out with a red marker first, because it's still not fair. You can't act like a shithead try and defeat a shithead, you know.
Well, folks on this platform, Will, just to give people some context, have been delved in the culture war for so long that these fuckers don't like normies at all, and they don't like people who are recently unplugged, because they've seen the process from where they started to where they are today. I mean, if you're involved in the culture war for so long, it can drive you so mad, so bitter, so resentful, that it can legitimately drive you crazy to the point where you're like, yeah, next person comes along, gloves off, completely ruin them, move on.
Yeah, I'm not joking. She's been in this since Gamergate, and that's obviously when it started, because if you look at some of the tweets, they're on the Kiwi Farms, I think, links, they're in the forum. She was in Gamergate, but she wasn't like viciously in Gamergate. She was saying that, you know, everyone's an asshole in this, and that's about all she said.
I got a comment in a video that I made about her yesterday. Someone's like, why couldn't she just disappear like Frost was smart enough to do? And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, whatever happened to Frost? No one cares. She's off the radar.
The industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's fine. Like, it's like everyone's happier. She's happier.
My take, if I ever met her or interacted with her again, would be, you were smart. Well done.
Yeah, I actually
we would not have stopped.
I actually had a good talk with a fine fellow creator who's an actual journalist who had a good talk with Frosk to go through the whole situation. It was just a one and done thing, and more I think to myself, the comparisons between Frosk and Mercante are a little unfair, because Frosk is a far better human being than Alyssa Mercante.
Well, it sort of does seem that way now, doesn't it? Like she was like an entry level version of Mercante, because Frosk, she said some dumbass stuff, and she had a lot of bile.
Let me
read a lot
this.
of axes to grind. Go on.
Let me read this real quick, because I was just looking. I was like, "What happened to Frosk?" This is her tweet leaving. I've been angry for a long time with my peers for not using their power and voice to stand up for others in the industry. Had to come to some hard terms that people who I'd known for years, who I thought were good friends, just weren't. Devastated me for a long time. Anyway, I'm leaving the industry, found new work elsewhere. The industry is really messed up, and what happened to me and plenty others wasn't fair. And I couldn't have been avoided if we had all stood up together. You let me down, but I get why. Cheers and good luck.
She got stabbed in the back.
She basically she is the OG Alyssa. Like this is the same person.
It's like the tutorial level for the Alyssa Mercante experience.
It really was, and that's what kind of concerns me about Alyssa is she is tripling down, quadrupling down, and looking at the Frost situation, and be like, "I'm not leaving. I'm not going to win out. I'm gonna outlast this industry.
You're gonna burn out.
You are not going to outlast this industry."
No, Frost faded away. Alyssa wants to burn out, and it's not going to go nicely.
If we take her, one of the things that I think her lawyers should have had the balls to tell her is, you threatened to fight the very people that you're sending cease and desist letters to. In the eyes of the law, that is borderline making you the guilty party, but it's like, if you antagonize YouTubers, if you antagonize people, like what we do, and then you come over as the victim, you come over as instigating the fights. None of us, as far as I have seen, none of us are actually going after her. I could devote my life to totally crushing her for what she did to me. Do I? No. I take the higher route, right? But with all these cease and desist letters, her lawyer, who is an absolute idiot, should have told her, you don't have any legal grounds here, because you were the one that said, "Fight me, bitch."
I can just see the headlines, Dobby. I mean, Smash JT could write them. Moaning Mercante sues terminal cancer patient because of defamation. I mean, the article would literally write itself if she tried to send a cease and desist or litigation at Dobby's door, because he's literally, sorry, Dobby, for saying, he's literally a dead man walking at this point.
Open disclosure. I am. I don't hide from it. People know what I have, and
and the fact that she was willing and able to completely go after him, purge him, and have him deplatformed. If that can happen to Dobby, if Mercante could literally deplatform someone with terminal cancer, she is going to try and do in anyone who stands in the way of her mindset.
She doesn't give a shit.
Exactly.
And there you go. But instead of having the sense to walk away and just shut up, because she had kind of got off like scot-free for a little while, like for most of, I'd say, July. We weren't really talking about her. We weren't really focused on her. At least a couple of weeks passed where there weren't many videos about her because she hadn't done anything recently. The last thing was really the fight, and I thought that was going to be the end of it. Like, okay, you called out the internet, you got responses, you backed down, you look like a pussy, you look like a coward, you look like an idiot. Now just leave, just fade away. Maybe come back in a year or so and we can all have a reunion tour, but bugger off, would you? Nah, can't do it. She needs the attention. Without it, she is nothing. She has nothing without us. So,
Will, let me ask you this. Or actually not ask you, I'll just put it this way. If there was one entity of life I would not challenge to a fight, it would be Kiwi Farms.
Yeah. Yes,
They're gonna
100%.
crash
Out of
you.
everything I know and
Or
everyone I've met,
4chan.
that is or 4chan, yeah. But
Yeah.
like literally, I would not go there. You just don't go there.
I
That's
mean,
one
no.
of those.
Yeah.
You
One of
might
the
as well
main-
walk into a mafia den,
Mhm.
grab a bag of powder,
That's what it
slice
is. That's a
open and
modern
start
day
bumping
mafia
it,
that you walk in and
and then just flip them off and try to leave, you know?
I mean,
Yep.
one of the main guys behind internet blood sports as a genre of content creation is the founder and owner of KIWI Farms, who will hold nothing back and will go at anyone who stands in his way, because that's the blood sports mindset.
No,
If you don't have that,
he's a savage. He'll
Yeah,
go
if
for
you
the people
don't
who
have-
don't deserve it.
if you don't have that mindset, you will get completely crushed within that genre, which is why if I ever dip my toes into blood sports, here and there, I'm very cautious because it is a kill or be killed environment.
Well, from
You
what
get,
I've seen,
you get killed just breathing the atmosphere there.
when it comes to KIWI Farms,
Mm.
I'm all about accountability, and I don't want to give them too much credit because it does, like you said, it does dip into that sometimes super sketch area. But
Yeah, it does, yeah.
but ultimately, I think many of the folks on there get a bad name. They really do. Like, I feel like a lot of people are just trying to hold people accountable for their actions, and some of the actions that some people do are really horrific things, like we've seen from Alyssa doing. And now she's trying to egg them on, and it's like, you don't know what you're dealing with. Like,
yeah. As someone who interacts with many content creator communities and for a time with those who were blood sports types, I never dreamed in my wildest nightmares blood sports colliding with pop culture content creation. I'll tell you this, folks, you don't want to go into that domain. And Alyssa, if she is flirting with that, I'm getting the fuck out. I'm gonna find another community to interact with. Done it before, can do it again.
I just want to
Maybe
make
a knitting community or a book club or something.
I want to make a point though, right? If you antagonize your audience, you don't know what they're capable of. That's why when I do my streams, if I know it might antagonize someone, right, I at least make the point. I don't know the age of my audience. I don't know what they're capable of. So I'm always reminding people, look, these are my views. I don't want you doxing. I don't let others handle the fight, because I'm responsible for what people who watch me do. So if I say something that antagonizes someone and I know that they might go and do something stupid, I always point out, look, just leave it alone. Let us handle it, right?
Yeah.
You know, people always make comments about me and Ryan.
Can I just
quite well,
get
right?
can
I
I
don't
get a
care what he
check here?
says to me. He knows me too well by now, right? But
Chemo brain. Go ahead,
watching
Will.
you-
No, can I just check if my microphone is
Yeah,
still fucking up?
it's better. It's better
Okay,
now.
It's better.
Cool. Thanks.
I'd just like to make the statement that I am not responsible for my audience, because I have interacted with
No
so
one
many
is.
hundreds of creators and at least a handful of different communities, some of them perfectly nice and fine, a few that are on reflection batshit crazy, but I have nothing against the content creators who are part of those communities. Hence the saying, it takes all sorts to be a content creator. If Alyssa was one of them, I'm sure she'd be an established creator. I think she'd get a few tens of thousands of subscribers, whether they love her or hate her. And she'd be very well suited to being a content creator. But she's going
if she
insane.
did it now, it would be a very different experience. But she'd do all right. I mean, she's able to get people to side with her. She's got her simps, you know. Anyway, there you go.
Hey, off topic. I just refresh Steam charts on Dustborn. There are 24 players currently playing.
Jesus Christ, we were on there earlier on.
And Concord's at 133. It's up from 100.
Oh no!
Over $1 million per player for Concord.
Oh no!
I wonder how many of those are just YouTubers ripping the game to shreds.
Which is a
What about
plane.
Black Myth Wukong, 1,680,000.
Kaboom!
Oh God!
That's like
Jesus.
dropping a nuke on like an anthill.
Yeah, that's just it's ridiculous. There are 5 digits more people playing that game than playing Dustborn.
But remember, it's not diverse enough, considering that you're facing a pantheon of immortals that can change their gender because they've got. Don't let that worry.
It's worth pointing out that half of these people, at least, are YouTubers,
and those half got the codes for free.
Yeah, definitely.
Just for a frame of reference, I know the wokies like to reference diversity. If you put China and India together, folks, that's 25% of planet Earth, and it's only 2 countries. So you can't get a more diverse than that. Okay?
There you go. But anyway, so to wrap this a little stroll down memory lane up, we come to present day, basically, which is last week when she suddenly tweeted out once again that she's moving forward with legal action against several parties for doxing and harassment. And I thought to myself, who's this going to be? Is she going to go after Smash JT or Hypnotic? Or she's certainly going to go after Drums,
by the way,
isn't she?
real quick, based off of reading that letter, it was so generic that you could say it's not an official like
you can see all my notes.
but you're not officially being served. This is just a threat of serving. So this is something that they could mass send out to me, Grums, Hypnotic, if they could find out where he is. This is something that this literally just is. What's it cost for a stamp? You know, that's what this is.
Yeah,
it means nothing. So I wouldn't be surprised if I get something, to be honest.
You probably will. I wouldn't be surprised either. She wouldn't be able to find me. I'm way too off the grid.
Yeah, and that stamp might cost like $1.25.
Yeah, the problem
can't do that. Living in New York as a journalist, no way.
The problem is, though, ladies and gentlemen, and I think to give you all the frame of reference in regards to Disney versus Gina Carano, if this does take the step of a kind of lawsuit, she'd have to make quite a few, because one for each creator, as it were. But the most damaging part of any lawsuit, as the real Mark Fox would attest to, because he actually went through one of these lawsuits, is that the most damaging parts are the discovery and are the litigation aspects, which never stay private because everyone releases everyone's information. And since it's a legal requirement for that information to be, given to each side, if this did go to the next stage, it would be incredibly damaging to both sides because everyone's public information would be released. And I know on Google's end that anyone who is monetized, Google has access to at least part of their information, which is why, from my perspective, as someone who tries to be open, honest, and transparent, for me personally, it wouldn't be nearly as damaging as, say, someone who likes to keep themselves hidden, someone who likes to keep their private lives as private as possible. And I think if discovery and litigation revealed to the world through leaks, which do happen in instances like this, then that creator who hides their face and who keeps their private life private would be incredibly pissed off with Mercante and would do everything in his or her power to completely ruin her after the lawsuit.
I think, we did say before that she doesn't actually know who she's pissed off at in some of these cases, and they could turn out to be far more capable of ruining her life and have thus far been quite nice about it, you know?
One specific person who makes reality-based look like tepid lemonade.
Right. So anyway, before we do wrap this up eventually, because it's fine, we'll just go till we finish.
Well, I can't say too much longer, so
that's okay. We're not talking very much longer. I just wanted to go over the actual letter briefly because the phrases that are employed in this language are about they look like they read like somebody who wants to be a lawyer.
Yes.
Writing a you know what I mean? A threat rather than any real semblance of legalese. You've got phrases like Alyssa has hired us.
Yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Because
You
the
covered it as
lawyer like doesn't even have a law firm.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got tabs of that as well. Right after this. Yeah. So it's the fact that basically they're using biased language, like loaded language, all the way through it. So, like saying people who are seriously stalking and harassing her are serially stalking and harassing her online. It's like you can't just say that. That's an accusation.
Yes,
like,
it's faceless. That's the thing.
This would be otherwise innocuous, annoying, and upsetting. Sorry, mate. Just hold on a minute. An avenue for bad actors to get within the shield of Alyssa's privacy. That's a strange phrase as well. The shield.
Within
That's not
the
something.
shield. Within the bubble, maybe. I've never heard of the terminology within the shield.
It's like you're using this kind of weird emotive language to describe it. You don't need to use these colorful words like shield of privacy.
You don't get within a shield. You get past a shield.
Yeah. Force field, I suppose they're thinking of. Or
force field
like the androids in Dragon Ball or something like that. That's their shield.
And you could say we're picking this apart, but it's literally a letter from a lawyer. So that's what people do. You pick it apart.
That's what it's there for. That's why, because Ryan also, studied law. So the language is strange, especially towards the end, where it says Mr. Moon is not currently in our crosshairs.
Imagine if I wrote a letter to Alyssa saying that Alyssa is not currently in my crosshairs. I'm like,
but on behalf, like you told someone to write that on behalf of you as a legal document.
I need this. I did study law for 6 years, folks, from the age of 13 to 19, from secondary school all the way to university. And in regards to this situation, this is all style and no substance, folks. This is designed to intimidate, and it's not going to intimidate Joshua Connor Moon.
Right, but besides that fact of it, the language itself is amateur hour shit. I've had to write contracts. I've had to write NDAs and things like that. I know how to write basic legal aids.
Will, I read through this 3 times and I didn't even know what they wanted. I'm like, what are you asking?
Yeah, it doesn't say what they actually want.
Black Girl Gamers Department released a better damn statement.
Yes, they did. That actually seemed like it was written by a lawyer. It didn't use the loaded things. And then right at the end, it says like Alyssa's well-being is our sole concern. As modified, if it stays private, then we do not believe it represents a serious threat. It would be in your client's interest to keep it that way.
Another threat.
Another threat said in like too casual tense.
No, that's like
what I'm saying.
Mafia. Like it would be in your
best interest. It is. It's like something you'd hear in The Sopranos.
I'd hate to see something bad happen to you.
Exactly. It'd be a shame if something were to like that joke version of the SBI extortion claim. I used the Monty Python sketch, and it was like it'd be a shame. Nice website you've got here, nice game studio you've got here, China. It would be a shame if someone were to call it sexist. You know, just it's that tone. Everybody knows what that tone is, and that's the tone they're using here. This is extortion. This isn't legal threats. Anyway,
but it's extortion and not even asking for like a desired outcome besides generally taking anything about her down on the entirety of Kiwi Farm and by extension the internet,
which it doesn't actually say.
Right, but you can't even do that anyways if you want.
No, if even the Kiwi Farms was shut down, there'd still be a buttload of Alyssa stuff on the internet.
There'd be Kiwi Farms 2.0 and it would come back based around her, and it would be the worst thing she could have ever done to herself. Strikes in effect 2 times a million.
This document, can't even speak today. Blooper. This document is further proof that all of Mercante's bluster is just to get donations from her supporters. That's why she had that GoFundMe thing. She's not going to pursue legal action because she is not able nor willing to commit to this kind of messy affair, which would completely ruin her and any chance she has from building an enterprise out of her audience.
And Dempsey
And I-
made a good point in the comments. He said, as soon as she said, "Come fight me physically," she lost the ability to be defended. Like, think
Yeah,
about
this
it.
is what I
If
said.
someone just accosts her on the streets of New York and they get arrested, they could be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. She said, fight me physically." Like, she literally entertained it. And they would, if they got a good enough lawyer, they'd get off scot-free
They would,
for beating
yeah.
the shit out of her.
You might need Johnny Cochran, but you'd get off with it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, she's automatically lost, which is the point I made. The second you say that to people, first of all, unless you're batshit crazy, you never challenge anyone on YouTube for a fight because you don't know where most of us live. You don't know if Ryan is actually 2 blocks away from you. You don't know if I'm actually secretly in New York. I'm not, but you don't know that. But now she has that hanging over her. If she goes to court with this, it's going to be done in 5 minutes. No lawyer is going to take this woman seriously because she said, physically fight me. What does she expect to happen? What does she do?
People have their own interpretation of what a fight is. That could be sneaking up behind them with a big blunt object and be like, "That's how I fight."
Yeah, it could be pouring acid in their face or something. That's how some people fight.
Yeah.
But the last paragraph of this, before we wrap up and get through the last couple of things, which is what you were alluding to a minute ago, Smash, is the fact that this last paragraph is written like it's come straight from Alyssa Mercante's Twitter.
Yep.
It literally has a phrase in here like, if he does so, this will conclude the matter and this firm will go back to its usual policy of trying to think about Joshua Moon and Kiwi Farms as little as humanly possible.
What professional lawyer says that? That's like, why throw that like extra punch
That's
in?
vicious. That's spitting bile. You know, that's like the way she discusses us when she was talking about us.
How does that add to any of this? That all that does is just like
it says I hold you in very low esteem, basically.
Yeah, but it doesn't add to any of the threat. It doesn't impact the letter. So remove it. Like if I was the editor of this, I'd be like, nope, strike that. I'd cut this way the hell
strike
down.
the whole damn thing.
Well, I mean,
and this is supposed to be a letter from a lawyer to another lawyer, right?
Right. The first page is somewhat on track, but it doesn't have an actual like
demand
target in mind. It's just like blanketly the internet. It's like you can't do that.
And then it says, it's rare for someone to have such control over their own fate. Please advise Mr. Moon to make the most of it. Fucking hell. That sounds like something you would hear straight out of freaking Don Corleone or something.
Yep.
That's madness. Anyway, so there you go. Then he does a quick humble brag about having a paralegal. And then we can go on to wondering who the hell Lane Haygood is. Well, as you've alluded to already, despite the different name, that's their Twitter. It has been privated. There's only a record of them working on LinkedIn as at their own law firm, right? Haygood Law Firm. I'm glad you're here. Yes, because if you go to it, it's literally just a website that directs you to Kammerman Unchik. I don't know how you pronounce that. Unchik, Sonica and Klein at what's the URL for it again? Cusk Law or something
like that.
Cusk Law. Let me get it in. I lost it for some reason. Cusk Law. Okay, so you go to this website here. This is where the lawyer apparently works now, no longer working at their own firm. And you go to attorneys, and no, not there.
Nope,
not there at all.
Probably mine got disbarred.
I mean, if that's how they write legalese, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
So there you go. We've got Cusk Law currently working 1 year, 4 months. Haygood Law Firm also 1 year, 4 months. Previously also solo practitioner at Haygood Law Firm, 7 years. So I don't know. But then there's the reviews. I saw you did this, so I found that. I think I don't even know if I might have ripped this straight out of your video, Smash.
Oh, so I didn't get it myself. Someone tagged me on Twitter with it. I mean, that's kind of
right, that's it. I found that tweet.
That's the benefit of getting the attention is people are making my job so easy here because they're like, here's all the information, and I'm like, great, thanks.
People send me DMs of stuff too now. It's really nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Because
1 star.
There's so many different like roads to go down. It's nice to have people help out. Like it's genuinely.
It is. It really is. It's nice to have loyal fans and audience who support you and do moderation and things like that.
Because they just want to get to the end. They want the answers. People aren't motivated by money. all the time. People are motivated by justice and accountability and just wanting the right answers. That's the internet. If you approach it the right way, that's really one of the angles of it.
And that's it. Yep. So there you go. Alyssa Mercante. What will she do next? Who has a damn clue?
I mean, honestly, it's funny how the information that gets spaced out. Some days you can relate to this, guys. How you can have like multiple stories and it's like super busy. You gotta get through everything. But sometimes it's just like one story a day that just takes the cap. And it was like this came through. I was working on I was working on like something that was like a little bit of a lighter story. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll cover this today. It's something I do want to talk. And then this came through. I was like, stop the press, move that out. We're doing this now.
It is like stop the press. Yeah. I was scrolling through like the regular sites that I get my research from, mostly that Park Place these days because it's like the best one.
And smashjt.com.
And smashjt.com as well. Actually, you are in my research folder. But then I usually end up finding out what's going on your site from your videos, which is when I'm driving in the morning. So I know what's going on by that time. And then it was this. It was like, oh, I guess I'm not making many videos today, but I'm probably going to be talking about Alyssa Mercante a lot. So,
but ultimately, that's her end goal. If you go after KIWI Farms, you do not value your privacy. You do not value your life. You do not value anything. Like if you do that, it's all out there. Like she will stop at nothing for maximum attention. And that is such a dangerous road to go down without a seatbelt on. And at blazing speed that she's going, that's very dangerous. You're going to.
She's hell for leather. Yeah, she has got a brick on the freaking accelerator at this point. Like, she won't let us forget about her.
Nope.
She complains when she gets covered. It's all a grift. I hate to say it because I hate using their language, but this is the definition of a grift because, like you guys pointed out, she stands to be able to use this letter as proof that she is actually doing something to convince people to pay her GoFundMe or whatever she ends up using, and then she can say that
she hasn't even opened the GoFundMe yet, but we all know it's coming. So let's do this. Let's get it on record. Let's get it on record here. Let's take our guesses what her max funding is on that GoFundMe, and I'm gonna say she will get $2,186.
You were almost close to my guess.
Really?
I went 1.9.
I was thinking just $2,000. That was what I was going to ballpark.
Dang. Go for it,
Well,
Ryan.
I'm of the view that she'll pull off another tranny charity thing, and I think she'll get like $20K. I really do.
You think?
Yeah, I think she does have a
mix it in with that.
Yeah, I think
I'll go with like 4,500 just to make it interesting and bridge that space between.
Okay, but we generally all agree that it's somewhere between the 2,000 to 5,000 range.
I think so. Yeah,
and you think
she might be able to get that?
You think what she's doing is worth that?
No,
because it's a grift. She's definitely going to be hustling that audience because she's not going to pursue something she has absolutely no chance of even taking to court. Like she has no legal claim, no matter what they want to cite, misinterpreting previous.
Right.
In the letter, she actually there's a mention of a previous case, Gersh versus Anglin, which was about a neo-Nazi whose website resulted in literal threats of violence and stuff like that to a woman and her son, I believe. That has not happened to Alyssa Mercante.
No,
it just hasn't happened.
She's the one that instigated violence with us.
The only threat of violence has come from her.
Right. And that also opens her up to being countersued if she does move forward. But I'm going to go with this lawyer seems so shady that it's not going to be publicized what she pays them. And she's just going to take the money and say, yep, we paid this lawyer and the lawsuit didn't really go anywhere, but thank you guys for the funding of the lawyer. I ran out of money. Lawyers are really expensive. If you want to keep giving me money, I can keep pursuing this. But that's what it's going to turn into.
Certainly the lawyer who doesn't seem to be employed anywhere,
Right.
will probably get a cut of whatever she gets.
Well, someone
for
said something like he
working.
charges $750 an hour. I don't know if that's true, but
And then you have to take
But
into
they're
account.
friends, aren't they?
right, she probably gets a special discount.
And then you'd have
Lawyers
to
with benefits. Yeah.
if she tries this, and if she does get a case docket being heard, if she's found guilty, which she will be, and the case is dropped, guess who's going to pay the fines? Not us.
Oh yeah, no. So there you go. That will do for now, I suppose. Yeah. But we'll keep an eye on this, and if there's any rumblings that this is just a big scam to try and grift off the audience, then...
I cannot wait for Mercante to have her own photo with Ethan Ralph, with Nick Recader, and with Recader's hose. Man, that's gonna be something.
Oh no, she shows up in the hot tub. No, we don't need that. Anyway, there you go. It's time to wrap things up. First of all, I just got to shout out Eris Rhoda, who donated 5 Will of the Fans memberships. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, you lucky people. And then we will get to our outros. I suppose I should start with our guest of honor. Smash JT, thank you very much for jumping in, man. I know I didn't give you much notice. I just sort of said, well, we're going to be talking about this. You're the subject of a lot of it, so would you like to come in and defend yourself, kind of thing? So, yeah, thanks for coming, man.
No, always an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me and thinking of me. I was just busy. Mornings are very busy with the kids in school and everything. So I was a little bit late, but I didn't want to miss this. And it has been a while since I joined you. So I figured if I could make it, I would definitely be here. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Definitely.
Rev, you got anything you want to say?
It's been a fun stream. And yeah, I'll be doing streams throughout probably today and catching up with everything that I forgot to do last week because I was sick. But also make sure you are subscribed to this channel, like these streams, help support Smash JT who's over there, and show him some love as well. Help your fellow content creators out, help them grow. The more of us, the merrier, especially considering what Alyssa Mercante is trying and failing to do. Ryan, hey, Ron Jeremy, if you're awake.
Yeah, you're not ill occasionally, Dobby. You have terminal cancer.
Yeah, I know, but some days it's Jesus.
What's the matter, Will? It's true, and the truth is reality-based.
Oh, cringe to keep bringing it up. Just get on with your own shit.
Well, folks, thank you all very much for watching this latest episode of WTF Live. I don't know why Will numbers them anymore. Most of them are behind a membership. As for me, you can check me out over at Ryan Roger Athe. I am the host and founder of Reality Based. We have already released 2 videos for today. Another 3 will be released. As for Wednesday, 4 videos, a show. As for Friday, hopefully we can get... actually, what day is it today? It's actually Tuesday, so tomorrow is Wednesday. Yes, I've confused my dates. So yes, 3 videos for today. Tomorrow we'll have 4 videos and a show. For Thursday, we'll have lots more videos. We got a very busy schedule for the end of August, trying to catch up. We've got like 9 topics that we can turn into videos from this show, so expect lots more videos, lots more shows. And I'm bringing back reality-based Rising Stars, folks. We're bringing back that series so I can regain my positive reputation because everyone thinks I'm the devil these fucking days. So
I gotta tell you, my initial reaction of who you were, and then I found out who you were here. I'm like, this is like 2 different people. What the hell?
Yeah. 2022,
Yeah,
you
me
could
too.
literally turn me into variants. 2022, 2023, 2024, Ryan. They are 3 different people. So hopefully I can merge them all back together.
Fair enough. All right, that'll do then. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the usual videos will be coming out. The next one will probably be a bit late now because everything else is, but that's okay. There will be a video probably within a couple of hours of now, followed by one couple of hours after that, and then it will be all day the usual schedule tomorrow and onwards. We're back for this show Thursday. And capping off the week at the end, of course, on Sunday for WhoTF Live, where we'll be going down the rabbit hole of Series 6 of Doctor Who with the absolute chaos that will cause for us. We might have to just dedicate the whole damn show to it because there'll be a lot of arguing. So there's that. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to TJEP Steve, Alyssa M Sucks, Dramatica Law, and Iris Rhoda for the extra mile. And yeah, nothing else to do now but say thank you once more and wave to the camera like an idiot and say see you next time. Bye
Bye for now.